whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with
AJ Talon, and today we're doing Yellowjackets Season 1, Episode 5. And Owen, do you want to give the episode name and air date and all that fun stuff?
Just so I don't have to do a retake, do you want to guess? Think long and hard so it gives me time to look it up, because I didn't have this ready ahead of time.
Oh, you didn't look at Oh, damn, Owen, you're going to be committing crimes if you don't have the wiki pulled up. It's nice to have that pulled on you. I remember this is 2020. I'm going to guess... It's been so long since we've done this. I'm going to guess March 19th, 2020. Actually, well, is it 2020? Let me look at the notes, actually.
Yeah, the notes will help you.
Yeah, 2021, I mean, my bad.
So just what was your guess? March what? 2021?
Yeah, March 19th, 2021.
That is wrong. It's December 12th, 2021.
Well, was it December? I was thinking it was in the winter, but I was like, I guess too far away. I was thinking it was like end of winter, beginning of spring, or spring. But yeah, it's December is dead winter.
Yeah, dead winter. Because you also have to remember, like we talked about before, because this probably has to do with why these episodes came out in December. They started filming this, I think back in 2020, and then the pandemic hit, so that could affect why it's out. Maybe if there was no pandemic, it probably would have been the air date you probably said, but then the pandemic, everything gets pushed back and everything like that. So
yeah.
But
what's the episode name and director and writer and all that?
Yeah. So. Yeah, the name of this episode is Blood Hive, which you're gonna find out. It's a pretty disturbing reason why it's called that. Something AJ and I wouldn't prefer to talk about, but we're gonna talk about it. This is directed.
Oh, it's funny they name drop this episode in the episode, which I think is funny.
This is directed by Eva Sorogo. I don't know if that's how you say that, but Sorog. She's so famous, she doesn't have a wiki, so that's awesome, it's great. That's how famous you are, like Keita's dad. That's how famous he is. He doesn't get
right, not even bothered with any info on him, just Keita's dad.
Yep. And then this was written by Amina Rosas. And we gotta give her some credit because every episode has had multiple, for the most part, has had multiple writers or more than one person. The last one had one person, I guess, though. Yeah, she wrote this all by herself. Just got a computer, got a typewriter, whatever she does, and just plugged away. Didn't have anyone help her. Just did it all alone. So.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've done a Yellowjackets video, but if you've seen our previous videos, you know how we do this. We go over all the past plot line first, and then all the present day plot line. Better than just jumping back and forth. Kind of just talk about all the past and then all the present.
Yeah, it's easier because this time it's gonna be easier too because I haven't watched the episode in full in a couple of days. I kind of just skimmed through it today because we were supposed to do this video a few times, but it kept getting pushed back for reasons. It's gonna be easier. And plus, it's easier to do the past first because it just makes the video come off neater. This video's already a mess, but it's intro season. I haven't done a video in a few days, so it's just how it is. So, yeah. But let's get right into it. We're gonna talk about everything in the past first. In 1996. There was no code open for anything or anything like that. It just cut right to the theme song. The past few times we've had the theme song, we'll usually do something in the beginning and then go right to the theme song. That wasn't the case this time. They just didn't have anything for the code open. I don't think it necessarily needed a code open this time. I think it was fine just kind of going right to the theme song. I thought that was fine. Did you think they needed something for the code open, or were you kind of cool?
No, it was fine.
Getting right into it. Did you skip intro? Because I remember when we did the Dragon Ball.
No, I actually noticed. I noticed a couple things in the intro. I was like, oh, was that always there?
Yeah, I asked that because we just did Dragon Ball, and I mean, you like praised the ending music of Dragon Ball, and I didn't even watch it at the end, so I had to like.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, the ending theme song for Dragon Ball is so nice. It's the images are great. Like it really captures a sense of adventure. Oh, and what did you think?
I didn't watch. I just
yeah.
Hey, at least
Yeah.
It's not as bad as when I turned it off, like right at a crucial time of RVB season 6 at the end. I gotta turn it off right out. I always have a tendency to do that.
Oh yeah, and you like missed like a big fucking reveal that like changes the entire show. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Intro to Yellowjackets. I'm fine with no cold open. I feel like if you do a cold open every time, it kind of like, I don't know, this episode didn't need it, like you were saying. But Owen,
I just remember there's a few episodes though that like don't get a code open, and I thought, I didn't think it was this quickly, like, because they only introduced the intro like episode 3. I thought they would go a few episodes and have one, but no, they just went right into it. So,
this episode's a little interesting because I think it's the biggest time jump we've had. Obviously, episode 2 picks off right where episode 1 landed. Episode 3 was like a couple days later, maybe like a week later. I think they said exactly how long it'd been. And then episode 4 says like, hey, we buried him a while ago. So like it's been a little bit between 3 and 4, but not like a ton of time.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, I'm pretty sure they've been out here for a little over a month at the beginning of episode 5. So it's probably been like, a couple weeks, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks.
This isn't like a spoiler. I because I've seen season 2. I do hope that like they don't rush, because they're only out there like 19 months. You can't really do too much, because then you're gonna have to show less. I kind of hope in season 1 they don't rush how much time they jump, because I hate to.
I mean, that's really not that much. We're halfway through the season. They've only been out there for a little over a month. That's not much.
I just do say that because I will say in season 2 they do a little less stuff in the past, and I'm wondering, I hope that's not because they blew the load too early in season 1 where they jumped.
Oh yeah, if we get to like the end of season 1 and it's been like a year, then it's like, okay, that's crazy. But like it's 5 episodes for 1 month. Honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't been longer.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna actually get into that a little later. I'm gonna have a little criticism where I'm gonna be like, it's kind of a little weird. It's only been a month, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah. So, kicking it off, the beginning of the stuff in the past, Jackie. This actually isn't the beginning, but this is just what we're gonna talk about first to just kind of make it all nice and neat. Everybody's been up for a while. Jackie's kind of sleeping in. And obviously, Jackie doesn't want to get up because, we find out that she's on her period. What a great way to start off the actual review, just going right into it.
Like Travis says later, it's a big old blood hive.
Yeah. So then, Natalie is the one waking her up. I almost did it. We find out that everyone's periods are pretty much synced up. Which kind of becomes like a big thing throughout the episode, which ends up kind of becoming a big plot at the end. I will say.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because Owen is my older cousin, and yet I kind of had to explain to him how periods work, where I had to be like, yeah, so periods sync up. That's like a real thing. If like girls are around each other too long, and like I don't know the science behind it, but that is a real thing.
I will say though, they only like told us who had them based off the characters that like we see like full time. They didn't really give enough of a shit about the side characters. Like they may have had it.
Again, the show is like really weird. Like I have no fucking clue how many people are out there. They really haven't like done a good job like giving a head count.
Yeah, they should have done that like in the beginning. Like I know they did that scene in the beginning of like the show, like showing everyone getting on the plane, but they didn't show like absolutely everybody because like I feel like they've added and they've taken
right. Because we have like obviously like the main characters, but then we have like we have like random like background Yellowjackets, and it's kind of like hard to tell exactly like who's who and how many there are total.
Yeah, because like if several of them died, but then like we said like the last episode, I think we're gonna make this like a running joke. Like how many people were there? It seemed like it was just one side character, and then we saw like all the main cast. Like I feel like the seance they definitely should have done some type of head count or something like in the beginning, just so we could kind of keep track. But anyhow, Jackie does end up getting up, and everyone's kind of pitching in, kind of helping contribute to. Helping everyone take care of themselves while they're out there. We see Thais is chopping firewood. I think we see Van and somebody else like hanging clothes on the line ready to be dried. And one of the side characters that we just talked about, tells Jackie what breakfast is. They did do a funny joke where, because they're also like soaking their like period blood like in fire type of thing. And they did a funny thing where Travis, like they said, don't mix him up like Travis did, and Les goes to Travis like it's like, okay, you guys are just disgusting. I actually thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I feel like I noticed that with
poor Travis. Yeah, he's like him and his brother and Ben, I guess, are the only guys surrounded by women. So yeah, like that's probably really uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, but one of the girls tells Jackie. To say like breakfast and wait because she's kind of pissed that she slept this whole time and really didn't contribute anything. So she has Jackie go get some water for the group, and Jackie goes over to the pond where they were swimming in episode 3, and she sees Lottie's in the pond, and she's in like a fatigued state, like she's in there like fully clothed and just not really paying attention to anything. So you could definitely see like because she's on medication and everything like that. So you could definitely see her meds. She's off her meds a little bit. It's really weird though because on the wiki it tells you that she's out of her meds, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't read the wiki. You'd just be like, okay, she hasn't been.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, I didn't know that because I know the show showed that like she only had like a limited supply.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that's why. Well, they also didn't really say what the medication was for. You know?
It says on the wiki, Lottie has run out of Loxapine, the medication she takes to manage the symptoms of schizophrenia. You wouldn't know that unless you didn't read the wiki. They really did a good job.
Well, I didn't even know she had schizophrenia. Yeah. I thought the medication was like for like health issues, like maybe she had like a blood issue or like insulin or I don't know, fucking something. I didn't know it was like a mental health thing.
Yeah. So like I was
okay. Well, thanks, Joe. You didn't do a very good job explaining that.
I was even looking for it too. Like, did I miss something? Like, because I went for it. I'm like, wait, because I knew she had medications and stuff, but like. Wow, that's the first that it says on the wiki.
Lottie's the girl who's like super like religious, so I thought she was just like in the lake, kind of like still depressed about like.
You're thinking about the different girl, the religious girl's Laura.
No, but like remember Lottie was the one who was like, saying like when they found that plane, Lottie was like it didn't want him to leave.
Yeah, that
like she's not religious, but she like believes in spiritual stuff.
Oh.
So I thought she was like in the lake, like depressed, or like, was like, like I don't know, like something with like the whatever the fuck is out there.
Yeah.
So I thought like that was why. I didn't know it was because like her schizophrenia medication was out. Okay, well, it's good to know. Thank you for explaining it, Owen.
Hey, they don't thank me, thank the wiki, because like, I mean, I knew that anyways, but like, I was like, Lottie has run out of. It says it's legit the first thing it says on Wiki. Lottie has run out of Loxapine, the medication she takes to manage the symptoms of schizophrenia. I like to the Wiki's like, yeah, you should know this already, guys. Like, it's even saying this. Like,
yeah, well, I thought it was going to be like a reveal later that like like what the medication was for, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's for her schizophrenia.
I mean, we did see it like going through the meds, but it's not, you can't like just.
Well, again, she had medication. I know that, but I didn't know it was for that. I thought, I thought she had like a heart issue or something.
But like, and like, thanks for telling us that she ran out. Like, it doesn't show it at all in this episode. So how are we supposed to know that she ran out of it? Like, and again, that becomes kind of a big thing like later on. So it's like, yeah, you kind of should have done a better job telling us about it. Anyhow, so yeah, Jackie's just kind of wondering what Lottie's doing. Like, isn't the water cold? But like, Lottie's not really giving her an answer because she's probably having. So this probably makes what happens in the seance, by the way, with Lottie kind of this probably makes you question what even happened now because
Well, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, so was it like not a demon or whatever the fuck?
well, I don't know, like, but I'm just saying. But now you're gonna go into that with like a different thing. Like that's probably why the show should have told us about it because like that would have helped.
Because again, as we're gonna get to it, well, obviously when Ben like pukes, it makes you think like, oh, is it like because of that? And obviously no, it's because he got like poisoned. And now I'm thinking like, oh, it wasn't actually like her getting like possessed. It was like her fucking schizophrenia.
It's good that I said that, by the way, because you would have like done that like whole recap and like been like, oh, look, this demon possessed her, and then I would have been like, well, I don't know if that's exactly what's going on.
Now it's like ambiguous. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like you said, Jackie was collecting the water and she saw Lottie out like in the water being fucking weird.
So Jackie eventually gets the water. She's struggling to bring it over. The main reason I think that it is obviously that she's feeling the symptoms from a period, but also she kind of overfilled the water. I think she filled it up to like the top, and obviously if she had to walk a distance, like she should have like filled it a little bit, and, like kind of made 2 trips out of it instead of filling it all the way to the top. It's going to be heavier to carry the bucket of water, type of thing. So. And everyone kind of sees that Jackie's struggling, but they're not really doing much to help because, she hasn't really done much to help them. So it's kind of like, you should, you're not helping us. We're not going to help you. You're not pulling my back. I'm not going to pull yours, whatever that saying is. And Shauna comes up and offers to help Jackie. And, Jackie says, no, I got this. And then she kind of talks about, how... she's feeling the effects of a period, but she kind of thinks it's sketchy that, Shauna hasn't really had any symptoms of a period or really, shown any symptoms.
I wouldn't say it's sketchy. She thinks it's sketchy. She just kind of like she makes a joke, she's like, oh, what, because like, she still thinks Shauna's a virgin. So she's like, oh, good thing you're a virgin or else, hey, I might be questioning if you're pregnant, like as a joke.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say she's like suspicious. She's just more so like, cracking a joke.
I will say when we review shows, I'm obviously not really thinking sometimes how the characters are actually feeling. Because obviously that line is meant to be there for us to kind of make us feel sketchy about it.
Right. Well, because like again, Jackie saying that is what makes Shauna be like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like it puts the idea in her head. I'm just saying like, because like Jackie isn't actually like sketchy. She's just like, oh wow, that's weird. Like she's not like really suspicious.
Yeah, but again, when she says, "Oh, that's weird," that was definitely for the fans to make us think that it was weird. Yeah. So, but then later on in the episode, we see that everyone else is still helping out, contributing, but Jackie's just kind of not really doing much. She's kind of just sitting on trying to listen to music. I will say too, I forgot to mention earlier. I want to mention it now. There was an episode where they were all dancing and just kind of having fun. I do want to mention that because obviously it's kind of nice that you're seeing them have those fun moments because they don't really have it all that much, when they get into like later seasons and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's nice that, it's only episode 5 of season 1. It's still fine that everyone's kind of joining in and dancing and having fun.
Like nothing super traumatic has happened yet. Yeah. Obviously like, the plane crash and like, they found the dead guy, but like, no, they haven't like been attacked by anything yet or anything like that.
I will say I don't know if Natalie should have joined in because she's meant to be like the anti-girl for everything, and she's kind of joining in, but that's just kind of a nitpick.
I think that's fine. Yeah. She's I'm sure she's also like depressed from the whole situation, so her kind of like having fun with everyone, I think is okay.
Yeah, and then I like that Harvey joined in too. That was pretty fun, because he was joining in with it. I also kind of wondered because this is meant to take place in like the 90s, and they're all meant to be in the 90s, but obviously it's filmed now, like they're like our age, so I just wonder what the actresses and stuff are thinking, like doing all these 90s things, because they probably think it's a riot.
Right, because they were probably like not even alive till like toddlers then, yeah.
But anyhow, going back to the
Well, sorry, because you mentioned Natalie. I said Natalie, not Natalia. That's nice. That reminds me of an Chrono Trigger, because we just reviewed Dragon Ball, and Chrono Trigger, the art designer for that was Toriyama, who did Dragon Ball. There's a scene in that where the characters can like go to like a little music festival and like dance around.
Okay.
And like, and they're all like having fun, and like you have like the kind of edgy guy who's like a loner. He doesn't really do the fun stuff. You have like him kind of joining in and dancing a little bit. So I'm just saying, I do kind of like that when like the character who's like, kind of the loner, doesn't really get involved in that, like does kind of like loosen up a little bit and have fun with everyone.
Yeah.
So I actually appreciate that, that Natalia. Fuck, I did say Natalia. Natalie, I do like that Natalie actually like joined in and had fun with everyone.
Do you want to say the story behind that so that way we can?
Yeah. So I had a coworker at my old job, and old as in I quit like 2 weeks ago, and a coworker named Natalia, and I kept calling her Natalie, so I had to keep like forcing myself to say Natalia. And now we're doing the Yellowjackets, and now I'm like so used to saying Natalia, I keep calling Natalie that. So now I have to relearn Natalie and not Natalia.
It's like, when we started doing Breaking Bad, I kept calling Tyrus, Gus's bodyguard, Tyrese. And by the time I learned his name, it was like his last episode because he died in that episode. So it was too late for I mean...
When we get the Better Call Saul, Owen. When we get the Better Call Saul.
And I'm going to do it again. I guarantee it.
I know, right?
Just we'll start like Walking Dead the same time, too. And like he'll show up and we'll like get to that point in Walking Dead at the same time or something. So,
Yeah, and you'll be like, fuck it. Yeah, that's funny.
But anyhow, continuing, we see Jackie is trying to listen to the tapes and the batteries aren't working. So Shauna comes over. Because earlier in the episode, we see that Shauna's in, like, the bushes, like, feeling around her tits to make sure she doesn't have any lumps and kind of trying to see if she has any symptoms of a period, but it's just not the case. So what she does is she goes over to one of the animals that have been, like, murdered by Travis and or Natalie, and takes, a drop of blood from it, and doing all of this, Thaisa comes in, and obviously Shauna kind of tries to hide it, but it's pretty much confirmed, determined that she's been not completely caught by Thaisa, but obviously she knows something happened, but Shauna did this to kind of make it look like that she got a period. So she goes up to Jackie.
Well, especially later, because Thaisa like sees her like dipping the rag with blood, and then like she sees Shauna like acting with Jackie, like, oh look, he jinxed me, and then like I think Thaisa sees that, so she's like, okay, so she's obviously lying about that.
Yeah. So yeah, Shauna fakes her period, and eventually Shauna pulls Jackie over. And they kind of go have a private talk, and she's trying to teach Jackie how to, like, stab the animal and, cut it open to kind of get rid of all of, like, the bad stuff in the animal, in like, the dead animal. And Jackie just isn't able to do it. And Sean is kind of, giving Jackie, like, a pep talk and kind of being weird with her, saying that, you're not really pitching in and everyone's starting to notice, and everyone's kind of starting to, like, resent you for it a little bit and kind of get pissed off. And, Jackie's feeling sorry for herself, and just feels bad that she really can't pitch in because she's not really into, like, being out in the woods and having to, like, survive and everything like that. And, this is kind of cool because, Shauna kind of has to give Jackie kind of a motivational speech. She kind of uses, like, and this is cool because obviously in episode 1, that was supposed to be, like, Jackie's role. Like, she was supposed to be team leader, and now Shauna has to kind of give her, kind of being her role. And I do kind of like that, Jackie even says, like, hey, you're kind of turning into, like, a badass out here. And, they end up hugging afterwards. And then during all of this, Shauna even tells, like, Jackie that you need to, like, find something. You need to find your thing that you can do out here. Because everyone has, like, a thing. You need to find something so that way you can, actually pitch in. Because people are noticing that you're on pitching. I think it's to the point where, like, and obviously Jackie's kind of, like, falling out of graces a little bit with the whole van thing where she didn't save her from, like, the plane earlier. Even though you could say fence of the men because she saved her the last episode. I still think that's, you know,
I hope it's not amended. That would be really shitty if they just like drop that plot line like that.
Yeah, but you know, I liked everything that they kind of did with Jackie in this episode. It kind of makes sense that she would be the one that struggles the most because she's kind of like the popular girl and everything like that. Like, you know,
Yeah, like she did best like back in society, so now like out here, she like doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I will say, because I normally don't really like Shauna, I do like this scene because normally with Shauna, whenever she like, I don't know, she just comes off as like really manipulative and like. I was telling Owen that like unlike Thaisa or Natalie, she like doesn't seem like remorseful whenever she does something bad because like everyone in the cast is like a little fucked up, but like at least it seems like they kind of like have regrets or like things they wish they did differently. Whereas with Shauna, compared to the past and the present, it seems like she hasn't changed much. Like she kind of keeps doing the shitty things without like ever feeling like guilty about it. I think it was episode 2 or 3 when she gives Jackie that like kind of pep talk of like, "Hey, I need my best friend out here." Like it came off as really manipulative because she's like obviously sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend, but she's like manipulating Jackie and guilting her to like be there for her.
Yeah.
And like later on in the episode, I have an issue with Shauna. But I do like this. This feels genuine. And this feels like she's being a genuine friend. Where she is, like, looking out for Jackie. She's going out of her way to, like, try to keep her and everyone else, like, on good terms. And she's kind of, like, encouraging Jackie to, like, find the thing that she can do out here.
Which I think is cool. And, we also see she gives her, like, the necklace. Because we see this necklace has been passed around. And this necklace is a big thing because I'm pretty sure somebody was wearing it. Like in the first scene of the the whole show, so we're wondering like who ends up with this necklace once we get to that point. Because Shauna ends up with it in the present, but that doesn't mean she'll end up with it then. So, yeah. But overall, I liked everything they did with Jackie. And yeah, you have I think you're talking for like the next few minutes. 2 little scenes, and then you get like a nice little big scene. So. Because you could say everything building up to the seance that ends up happening too. So
yeah, the seance is definitely like the main set piece of the episode. So yeah, 2 very little scenes. We get Natalie and Travis hunting out in the woods. Kind of continuing where they were off last time. Kind of seeing their chemistry a bit because obviously they were on really bad terms at first. But after what happened with Travis's dad, they kind of like have an understanding now.
Yeah.
Especially because they're the 2 in charge of hunting, so they've like been spending a lot of time together. And you see, they're kind of like before Travis was really like salty that she was that good at hunting and shooting, but now they're kind of like turning into like a friendly competition. They'll kind of like place bets on like, oh, can you make this shot? Can you make this shot? I like that. I also I like that Travis is kind of like cracking jokes a bit, like he calls the whole cabin a blood hive because obviously all the girls are like on their periods and bleeding. And Travis makes a good point where he's like, back in the caveman times during these like when the females were on their periods, they would have them go into like a separate area because all the blood would attract predators. And we know in the future there's going to be like a wolf attack. So, I mean, it could be a red herring, but I feel like that's kind of foreshadowing that like, oh, maybe that's what happens. Like all the bleeding is going to lead to like, a bunch of wolves being like, huh? Oh shit, there's a lot of people over here.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, that's, I didn't even think about that, but that's a really good point. It's kind of weird in a way that he just says that as a joke and no one takes it seriously. Because for me, I would have been like, I mean, granted, again, having future knowledge and knowing that there's going to be a wolf attack, like, but at the same time, you figure he would be like, okay, you know what? Actually, that's a good point. That is a good point that all this blood together is probably going to attract some animals.
Even back then, not knowing the knowledge I would know, I mean, at least he said this to, like, just Natalie. Like, if he said this to the whole group as, like, a joke and no one really thought that... Like, if Ben didn't really step in and think that through...
Right, yeah. Yeah, I guess, yeah, him and her were just, like, fucking around. They didn't, like, think too deeply about it. That is a good point. If he, like, said it around everyone and no one out of the however many people are there, could be 10 people, could be fucking 50. If no one was like, hey, wait a minute, that's actually a good point, then yeah, that'd be a little, but yeah. And then, I do like the scene where he kind of gets her against the tree and they start kissing. I'm glad they're getting into like a relationship now. They're not kind of like dragging it out because we know they're in a relationship in the future.
Right.
So I like that they're kind of like, well, they didn't do it too early. Like we had all of like last episode setting up their relationship. And I think it makes sense. I feel like they didn't do it too early and they didn't do it too late, like their relationship starting.
Yeah, I thought they did it at a good time because, Natalie was also the one, like, when his dad died originally, was, like, kind of giving him, like, sympathy out of everyone in the group when he was being...
Right, so they had plenty of moments where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can buy that they like each other.
Yeah. For me, I actually like watching this, too, because, it reminds me of a lot of Breaking Bad, Jesse and Jane's relationship, where, their relationship starts off very cute in the beginning, but then obviously...
They end up being, like, really toxic for each other, yeah.
And, obviously, this is kind of like, where it's kind of good where we kind of see the present because we find out that they come toxic. Because during one of these scenes, I think it's that scene where like he pins her up against the tree and like they start making out. It shows like him in the present, and then it shows like we're gonna talk about this later, but like Natalie going through like his file with all his suicides.
Yeah, it's like autopsy. Yeah.
So I kind of like that. Well.
Yeah, like the tragedy. Yeah, I like like we know it ends up really fucking badly. So it like sucks. We're just sitting here watching. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get attached. I know things don't go well for these two.
Yeah. So I like watching it. It's kind of nice that they both. It's also cool because this is the first time really Travis. This is the first person Travis is also bonded with, like in the group too. Like he hasn't really bonded with anyone other than like his brother, and obviously it didn't really seem like they had much of a bond even from before the plane crash. So it's kind of nice to see Travis bonding with somebody.
Yeah. So meanwhile, pretty much at the exact same time, we get confirmation that Van and Thaisa are a thing because we knew it was pretty obvious. Thaisa liked Van. Because she was like the most worried about Van during the plane crash, and like she was kind of staring at Van when Van was like out in the lake swimming, and obviously we know in the present day she's like gay, so like pretty obvious that she liked Van, but it wasn't like confirmed if they were like actually dating or if like Tice just had a crush on her, and it's like yep, confirmed that they're like a thing because well, it's also a little weird. So they're like at the cabin, like in like a tree near the cabin, and they're like, okay, everyone's gone, and then they start like kissing. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to hide it from everyone, just like go farther away from the cabin.
Yeah, especially because it's not like they have anything to do in the cabin, so it's like they're gonna come out have to come out pretty quickly at some point. Plus, again, we don't know how many people are there. Someone has to come out at some point, so.
Right. I'm also kind of just like, I don't know why they're really keeping a secret. It's like, it's 1996. Like, I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. It wasn't really that big of, I mean, I wasn't really alive then, but, like, I feel like it wasn't that big a deal then. Like, I feel like everyone would just be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it would make more sense if, like, yeah, kind of weird. I don't know why they're keeping it a secret. It'd be... Because they don't really do, they don't really tell you, like, who knows about the stuff with, Thaisa or anything like that.
Well, I mean, I think it's implied no one does, because I remember, like, when they're at that lake, one of the girls said, like, hey, you've got everyone fooled, huh? And Thaisa was like, oh, what? And then she, like, said something else.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Thaisa was, like, worried that, like, people knew she was gay. So, like... I mean, it's not really a big deal. I mean, like, I can buy that she, like, wants to keep it a secret. I guess we got a little bit more of, like, I guess we got a little bit more of, like, what our thoughts are.
Yeah, I like this, though. Again, this didn't seem forced either. Just, it was little setups, and, it makes you question why they aren't together in the present. Like, what happens does, so...
yeah, what happens with Van? Yeah, because obviously she's not married to Van in the future.
Yeah. And also, I did like the way I wrote this in my notes. By the way, I wrote Van and Thais relationship confirmed as if like they're like celebrities or something like that. Like because we have been. I wrote this kind of for you because you've been speculated.
It's like one of those like magazines you see in the store, like OMG, like they're confirmed dating. It's like oh shit.
So I did write. I wrote my notes when I was like tired, like kind of lazily last minute because I think we had to do the video like pretty soon. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't write the notes yet, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna write Van and Thais, because I also forgot to put this in my notes originally, and it's kind of a big thing, so I'm like, Van and Thais, and I was thinking, like, AJ's been speculating this for a while, so I was like, Van and Thais relationship confirmed. Like...
Yeah, there you go. I also think it's funny that Thais is, like, the only person who knows Shauna's pregnant, since she's, like, the one person who doesn't really have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think... Yeah. I mean, yes and no, yes. Because, in 96, yes. In 2021, no, because there's other ways around that now, so, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because she has a kid in the future. I'm just saying, like, I think it's funny, because obviously, like, she doesn't really have to worry about being pregnant,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not into dudes. Or at least that seems to be the implication that she's not. But yeah, I kind of like that we're seeing, Natalie and Travis's relationship, like, at the same time as Thais and Van's, kind of happening around the same time. I like that.
This was like a big, we're talking about this. This was like a big finding out about relationships, like, type of episode. Like, now that we're talking.
Yeah, I know, right? Shauna's pregnant. Yeah, Van and Thais are a thing. Natalie and Travis are a thing. Yeah.
And then Callie finds out.
And then later on we have Misty and Ben being not a thing.
And then Callie finds out about Shauna's like, this is a big relationship episode, like,
Oh yeah. This really is one of those fucking magazines my mom would have read. But yeah, because of the pep talk Shauna gave Jackie decides, my thing before all this was like kind of, being the team leader, like keeping everyone's morale up. So she decides, she kind of jokes around with everyone because like tensions are getting a little high. So she decides like, hey, we should do a seance. So I had to explain to Owen what periods were, or like how they worked. And then you had to explain to me what a seance was, because I was like, I didn't even know this was a real thing.
I think you would have, because they have like Ouija boards and things like that. That's kind of like a seance a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring. It's like like basically like, because she says it's like they would do it at like girls' slumber parties. It's like you're trying to communicate with a ghost kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't really understand like exactly how it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's like the Ouija boards. It's like the Bloody Mary in the mirror thing. It's like just all that shit. So, and everyone decides, what, that's a good idea. I kind of like that because this episode started off, like you said, with everyone like kind of dancing to music. So, similar idea where they're going to kind of just try and like take their minds off of all the crazy shit. And I like that. I like that Jackie's like trying to make more of an effort to like make herself useful,
I will say, like, it's not like, too, they just randomly Jackie randomly brought this up. There was a couple of, like, hints in this episode where, like, doing that dancing scene, they heard, like footsteps upstairs, thinking it's the ghost, and, like, one of the girls felt like something touched her back. So it's not like Jackie just said, oh, yeah, remember this guy we buried? Like, it's not, like, it's been lingering for a while. So it's not like, they just randomly brought him up again.
I think we talked
about
a ton of candles.
I think we talked about this originally, though. Probably should have done this kind of like right after they buried him, type of thing. Like it's it's a month later. Kind of seemed like they should have done this last episode, to kind of give like a better payoff, like immediate payoff to that. It would have fixed that issue of where like it felt not everyone in the past was doing that Natalie Travis thing. So.
Yeah, like you said, I feel like this episode, like any issues with this episode is more so kind of just like dealing with like the sins of last episode.
Definitely.
So yeah, we get the seance scene. We saw like Shauna helping Jackie like set up the candles and stuff upstairs.
Oh, and I later I want to make sure I mention this because this was kind of a callback. Because in episode 2, there was a moment where like Jackie wanted to do something, but Taissa wanted to do something, but Jackie didn't. So everyone took like a vote, and this time around it was the same thing, but Thaisa, because she doesn't believe in like supernatural stuff, doesn't want to do it, and everyone votes, but I don't think everyone voted, but like Jackie kind of asked Shauna, kind of getting Shauna to back her up, and Shauna basically all she says is like, it's not like we have anything else better to do, so she kind of backs her up, but she kind of does it in a way where it doesn't sound like she's backing her up. So
yeah, I was gonna say I noticed Shauna in that scene was like kind of questioning Jackie. She's like, is this really a good use for candles? And like you said, she's like not really backing up Jackie.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a little fucked up that Shauna was like giving her this pep talk of like, hey, find what you can do out here. But then when Jackie's like trying to like do this, Shauna's like,
But I did like that callback that they called back episode 2, like, and they kind of did it the reverse way this time around, where Shauna sort of took Jackie's side. And and everyone kind of did what Jackie, because they can't completely shit on Jackie either. That'd be like I feel like there needs to be a balance. So I like that this time they kind of all went with Jackie this time.
Yeah. So they all set up like the candles and stuff upstairs, and later that night, or presumably that night, they do this seance where they're gonna like communicate with the ghost, and they're kind of just doing this to like keep morale up. That kind of goof off, have some fun, because they're kind of asking like silly questions like, oh, is this teacher actually sleeping with this teacher? It's like, hey, if we didn't crash, would we have won the national game?
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know. We still need that we still need that spin-off with the other one where
Right, they're just kind of like, man, they're really late.
Oh, I think we made the joke that, they get into like a bus crash or something like that, or like,
Oh yeah, like they have their own spin-off, like they also fucking got into a crash and missed the game, yeah. And we said they're like the blue sweaters or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we get a scene where Misty is like, does my crush like me back? And you're supposed to be like, oh, that's sweet, because everyone is like, oh,
yeah, but
and it's actually really fucking creepy with what we get in this episode, which you'll talk about.
Well, I mean, let's be real. You had to figure it out this pretty quickly who Misty was talking about. Like I was pretty.
Oh yeah, it was pretty obvious. And as it's kind of going on, they're like, oh, okay, oh spirit, commune with us, and then Lottie starts freaking the fuck out.
Oh, you're missing a big thing, though, because there's a reason why it goes south. So Javi originally didn't join in on the seance, but then he goes up and he asks, like, are we all going to...
All right, he's like, are we all going to die out here? So he's kind of, like, killing the mood a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Lottie starts, like, freaking out. She, like, bangs her head on the window. And she starts, like, chanting in... I think they said it was French.
Right.
Because Jackie is like, oh, she's speaking French, but like she sucks at French. I like the joke where someone's like, well, do you understand what she's saying? And she's like, no, I also suck at French.
Yeah, that was a good joke.
So obviously, like, the implication is that like Lottie shouldn't be able to say anything in French because she's not good at it. But like you said with the schizophrenia thing, now I'm questioning like maybe she is like just speaking like gibberish in French.
Right.
Like, because she's, like, schizophrenic. She's just, like, doing whatever. Because, they brought up, like, she knows, she takes a French class. She's not good at it, but maybe she is legit. Like, this isn't actually a fucking demon. But there's an important detail where she's, like, next to Shauna. And Lottie's, like, it is already within you. Like, obviously, like, hinting at, like, the baby.
Yeah.
So whatever the spirit is, like, knows about Shauna's kid, or that she's pregnant.
But then again, too, that could be like, because Lottie had a bad feeling about the cabin originally, and she ended up kind of being right because someone died up there. Like maybe Lottie also, her schizophrenia episode makes, because maybe she knows that Shauna's pregnant.
She can fucking sniff who's had their period and who hasn't. She's like sniffing Shauna, like, I know you faked your period, bitch.
You'll see why I say that, because I think there's a future episode that shows Lottie's past. So, you'll see why I say that. So
okay, but so it's I was just full on under the impression this was like a demon or a spirit or whatever, and then but because you brought up the schizophrenia thing, now I'm like, oh shit, maybe not. But like again, from what is going on, it feels like Lottie knows more than that she should if it was just schizophrenia.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And doing all of this too. I don't know if you'll get into this, but Coach Ben vomits like really bad blood. Like this looks like vomit. If you've ever watched like an exorcism movie, that would be like in that type of thing. So
yeah, I thought it was weird. No one commented, like, because Bible Girl was like still downstairs when he like puked. So and then she just kind of like runs upstairs, like she doesn't like help him at all. So I was like, oh damn, she like you see him just puke his fucking guts out. You don't even say anything to him.
Right. I did like that. I did like that. Not everyone participated too in the seance. You know, kind of because it shows off like people's character qualities. Like obviously, Laura doesn't do it because she's very religious, so she thinks that's very cultish and everything like that. And then Taissa doesn't do it because she doesn't believe in that stuff. Because I think if everyone participated in the seance, it'd be like, that's kind of a bit much. I like that some people didn't participate.
Yeah, I don't really get why Javi didn't like do it with everyone because Javi seemed kind of like he was getting along with everyone, and then he kind of just shows up and he's like, kind of kills the mood. Everyone's having a good time, and he's like, "So are we all gonna die out here?" I'm like, damn, you figure Travis would be the one to like, do that.
Right. Maybe like maybe they thought it was gonna get very adultish type of thing because they were asking some adult type questions. So like Travis was like, just sit this out.
Well, I'm just saying, I feel like Travis would be the one to like, because what's funny, Natalie even says later in this episode that like Travis like didn't really believe in any of this stuff. So, and, as we know, Travis is kind of like still a bit of a dick. Like he's like, he doesn't really get along. Even though he's getting along with Natalie now, he doesn't really seem like he's getting along with everyone else.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like it should have been Travis like downstairs, like not believing in this, and then he goes upstairs and asks, like, "Are we all going to die out here?"
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole can of worms when we review this show and further when that makes that line that Natalie says like not even make sense. So.
Right, I was just saying, based on what we know about Travis and Javi so far, I feel like it should have been reversed. Javi should have been upstairs having a good time with everyone, and then Travis kind of comes up and like kills the mood a bit.
Yeah, especially because he's been kind of the mood killer of like the whole show too. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but yeah, Lottie's like freaking, and everyone's like doesn't know what to do. Then Bible Girl, I don't remember her name, comes upstairs and she just like, "The power of Christ compels you, bitch," and fucking hits her with a Bible. She didn't actually say the power of Christ compels you, but I'm just that's basically what she said.
I really wish she said that, but they probably couldn't do copyright reason. They probably couldn't trademark that. So,
and I mean, she like throws the Bible at her. I don't know. It would have been so much funnier if she just fucking like actually smacked her over the fucking head with the Bible,
just again and again. So
yeah, and she's like, "Stop! I'm back! Stop hitting me!"
Yeah. I do like what happens though when she throws her at her. Lottie like snaps out of it. And she looks at Laura and she's like, "What the fuck, Laura?" Like that was pretty funny. That was awesome.
Yeah, I like that. No, that was funny. Again, I love that it was literally the fucking religious girl coming up and smacking the demon with a Bible. Or like demon, quote unquote.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I liked the seance. I like the way it was shot, like when the demon comes in, it like shows it like through the window, like outside the cabin and everything like that. I like that it starts very lighthearted, then it gets like very depressing and dark, like later on type of thing.
Yeah.
And I liked how they kind of handled Coach Ben's thing, because what happens with him makes it look like he was like possessed, or they think it had to do with the seance, but then as we're gonna talk about in like a few minutes, it's not the case.
Right. Well, that's why I said it was kind of weird no one like mentioned that he puked, because like only like 2 people were still downstairs when he puked.
Yeah. And
like I said, no one really like said anything about it. Like he puked and then they just like ran upstairs.
Right.
So like again, like you said, that is a great point where like, oh, he puked, so you would think that's related to the seance. But no one really like was there when he puked like that, and the people who were there didn't really say anything about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Bible girl should have like ran over to help him, and then like run upstairs or something.
Also, there's a big thing you missed, like kind of before like the seance got bad. We see that Laura, is originally reading the Bible, but then she picks up like this manual book of the plane that they found the last episode, and she's gonna she's gonna see if she can learn how to fly it. That kind of becomes important, like for later on. So I want to make sure we mention that now because I don't want to forget that because that becomes important.
Yeah, that is a good point. I do like what she says, where she's like, "Oh yeah, my grandfather is like arthritic, but he can still ride a plane. It can't be that hard." And then Thaisa like looks at her, and she's like, "Okay, it's probably not easy, but like it's better than nothing."
Yeah. So,
and I kind of like the mentality of like like they said, it's like what like the same reason they did the seance is like, well, what else were we gonna do? And same kind of thing where it's like, well, it doesn't hurt to fucking look at the plane manual, like what? It's and even if it has a fucking 1% chance of working, it's a better percent chance than what we're doing right now.
I agree. Yeah. So that
kind of reminds me of versus Blue in Blood Gulch, where the only reason they do anything is like, well, what else are we gonna do? And they're like, all right, good point.
Well, the only reason they do anything is, because the freelancers keep showing up and everything like that. So
yeah, true. It's like, well, same thing here. Everyone just kind of mind their own business, and then fucking demons and spirits are coming up, and they're like, God damn it, just leave us alone.
The Met is now gonna show up, and like Washington's gonna show up now, like.
Really, listen, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Meta shows up. That's kind of what he did in the show. People are just minding their own business, and all of a sudden he just shows up and kills everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, poor Dona, man. He just, even if he never had
fucking poor Dona and Lopez. Poor Lopez. But I thought that would be a funny video. We got to rank like who has the fucking balls of steel out of all of our reviews, because we got Giasso, we got Lopez, we got Kita's dad. We got to do like who's got the biggest balls out of our reviews.
But anyhow, going back to Yellowjackets. So throughout all of this, kind of going back earlier, before like we even see any of the period stuff or anything like that go down, Misty comes in and checks in on Ben, who's like sleeping, and she's being very creepy towards it. And Ben wakes up, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And Misty,
because like she comes in to wake him up. But he's like, because he just woke up in the morning. He's obviously like, Ben Jr. is, rise and shine. So Misty's like kind of staring at it and is like about to touch him, which is really fucking creepy.
Actually, didn't catch that, so it's good thing you mentioned that. So.
Oh, you didn't catch that? Yeah, because she saw he had like a boner, so she was like gonna fucking touch him.
Oh, okay. Might have been on my phone doing that part of it, so 3 times.
Yeah,
all 3
that's
times.
why he was like, "Don't fucking touch me."
Yeah. I was also thinking, because she just tripped in the last episode, so that's why he was freaked out too. So,
right. Yeah, that's important to mention because, like, yeah, if he like freaked out just because she was like coming to wake him up, then he would be overreacting. But like, yeah, she was like gonna touch his dick, and he was like, "Okay, do not."
That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't catch that originally.
Yeah,
but yeah. I was thinking he freaked out, because he was in fear of, because she tripped in the last episode and everything.
Right.
So. But then, Misty kind of tries to come up with a lie, but Ben just tells him, like, get the hell away from me. And then, a little later in the episode, I think it's like right before the seance. It is before the seance, but, I don't know if it's right before, like a little before. She gives him tea, and, she says, it's going to help your leg with the swelling and everything like that. And, Ben takes the tea. Don't know why, but he did.
Well, to be fair, I think he was just being like, whatever. Like, he's like trying not to pick a fight with her. Like, because when she like tries talking to him, he just kind of like is silent.
Yeah. So,
So he's obviously still mad about what happened, but he's just kind of like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to fight with her over it.
So then, that's the reason, though, he ended up puking doing the seance. We find out, and I liked this, too, because, when he pukes during the seance and after Laura runs up, I like that he didn't, because I didn't catch this until the third time I watched it. I thought he would have, that's why he threw up, is because of the seance or whatever. But he looked right over at his cup of tea that he still had and, knocked it on the ground, showing that he knew that Misty poisoned him. So I actually kind of really liked...
Well, I think it makes sense because he's, the adult, and, earlier when everyone was, freaking out about, the footsteps upstairs, he kind of, made it a joke. He's like, all right, the ghost is probably tired, and we should probably go to bed, too. So.
But in my
Makes
head,
sense.
I was thinking, hopefully, that's why Misty gave him the tea then, was to make him, so he would think it wasn't her that did it. So, he would think it's something spiritual. But I like the fact that he caught it right away. Like, he didn't like question it, and it like lasted like the whole episode or whatever type of thing. So, and then, towards the end of the stuff we see in the past, we see Misty just downstairs by herself, and Ben comes up to her, and he pretty much confronts her about why the hell, like, she poisoned him. And, Misty's kind of trying to look around for everybody else. And I like that Coach Ben's even like, no, don't look for everybody else. You look at me and you tell me right now, like, why you poisoned me. And, Misty, obviously can't really come up with, like, any alternative reasons. But Misty just says, well, I like you, and I just, I just wanted to see if you like me back. I don't know what exactly she was gonna say, but that's pretty much what she said.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where she's basically just like abusive, like whenever because like last episode when she like tripped Ben. Yeah, like it just seems like she just wants Ben to like have to rely on her.
Yeah.
And whenever he like wants to like be independent, she just like fucking tortures him.
So then they do a nice little twist. Because you don't typically see stuff like this where Ben says, I feel the same way, but he's kind of like trying to reason with Misty, being like, but I just can't really do anything about it because, you're not even 18. I could get in a lot of trouble for this, and I just couldn't live with myself if, mentally, if I screwed you up, which, he's not gonna have. He knows that's not gonna happen, but whatever.
Right. And at first I was like, oh damn, is he for real? But then like as the conversation goes on, it's pretty obvious like he's bullshitting. Like he's just like, like he knows Misty's fucking crazy. Like she poisoned him.
Yeah. I think he's doing
because
this,
he didn't want her molesting him.
Yeah.
So I think he's just saying this to be like, well, Owen, you've seen the show, you probably know more of like why not. But as a first time viewer, it seems like he just like he's like trying to just like get her off his back, basically. Like give her excuses why they can't be in a relationship. Like keep her happy. Be like, yeah, I like you too, but like we can't because of other reasons.
And he even says, though, like, let's just keep this between ourselves. Like, let's not tell anybody else about it. So I do kind of like that. It's going to be like it's going to be like their own thing. But yeah, I will say this: there's going to be there's another reason why this isn't true, and the reason that that actually happens ends up backfiring on everybody. So I like to say things. I feel like I like to say things like that because I notice you'll say things like that, like in shows you watch. So it kind of gets you thinking, like there's an alternative.
Yeah.
There's another reason why that gets revealed later about why he's lying. So,
yeah. Again, I'm just going off of like my first without knowing the future stuff.
But even back then, I knew he was kind of bullshitting too. I was thinking, Misty's kind of the one that has to take care of him, so he kind of has to rely on Misty. But also too, like, he doesn't want to, I think it's also out of fear of Misty because, if he pisses off Misty anymore, if she poisoned him because, she didn't really know his feelings for him, imagine what she would do if, if he
like rejected her. Yeah, she'd kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Ben kind of realizes Misty's fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So like, as I was saying, he's like trying to be like, oh, I like you too, but like we can't be together because like I'd be a pedophile.
But I did like that they did the because at one point he like hesitates to say something, so that like showed that he wasn't.
Yeah, because he was like my sweet Misty, and he was like obviously like cringing. So like the show made it pretty obvious like he's just trying to like keep her happy and like get her from. He doesn't want to get poisoned again. Basically, this poor fucking guy. He's surrounded by he's in a blood hive of girls. Yeah. He lost his fucking leg, and the one person who's taking care of him is fucking poisoning him and trying to molest him.
I have to ask, by the way, do you think Ben's making it to the present? Because we haven't seen him in the present, but we also because I've all
we know they start cannibalizing based on the first episode, and because Ben like can't run away or like defend himself, I'm thinking Ben is gonna get like eaten. basically.
Okay.
Or like, you know, when the wolves attack, like I'm thinking like they're gonna get Ben. Like basically Ben can't really defend himself, so
Yeah.
Ben's kind of fucked.
That was my thinking, like, you know.
You know, that'd be a good plot twist where we have like people die, but like Ben, for somehow, despite all the fucking odds, manages to live.
Right. But yeah, so I liked the Misty thing, and then we get another big plot that happens in this episode. Overall, what'd you think of them? I mean, you kind of gave your thoughts on it, but I really liked kind of the direction they went with the Ben and I also like this too because it kind of breaks the mold.
Well, we kind of didn't talk about one extra scene in the past.
Well, yeah, the Shauna thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to ask what you thought of the Ben Misty.
Oh, okay, I thought you were wrapping up like the 1996 stuff. Yeah, I like this again, and you know, I feel bad for Ben. You know, fucking poor guy. He like has to rely on a fucking psycho. Yeah, I like the seance scene. Again, I thought this was like an episode confirming there's like a supernatural thing going on here, but because you brought up the schizophrenia thing, now I'm not sure.
Thank you, Wiki. You know, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Wiki. No, this episode did not. Well, again, I didn't know her medication was for schizophrenia, and I didn't know she ran out of the medicine. So that they really should have made that more clear.
I guess it's tough to really make that clear because maybe no one else knows, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Give us a scene with Lottie like thinking about it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I thought they would reveal it, you know, of like what the medication was for. It's like, oh, okay, I guess it's for schizophrenia. Again, I thought it was like a heart issue or something.
I think that's a first in our reviews, by the way, where like one person found out something because someone had to read the wiki to them too. That's a first. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
So we're making, you know, as bad as it is, we're making history here. You can't hate that. We're making history on this show, you know. So.
Oh, yeah, because I was texting you about this after I finished the episode. So I've been making, like, theories on who, like, the lady in the tree is. Or, like, whatever the fuck. And my thoughts were, like, Jackie or Van. Like I think it's someone we know. But now I'm thinking... So, Sean is pregnant. And her daughter in the present day is, like, a teenager still. And obviously, like 1996, 2021, like it's been more than like 20 years. So now I'm thinking, I still think my main thing is Jackie. Like the show's making us think Jackie's dead, she's not. But now I'm thinking like maybe it's Shauna's first kid,
okay.
And like Shauna's first kid, like didn't make it back and was like raised in the woods, and now it's like back, like causing bullshit.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Again, Owen, you can't tell me if I'm right or wrong. I'm just spitballing.
That is a good theory, though. You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, kind of going back to that. Let's kind of talk about that. So yeah, doing all this stuff like Shauna's, you know, questioning why she didn't get a period and stuff like that. Later in the night, everyone's too afraid to go sleep. You know. On the second floor of the cabin because of the fact, you know, of what happened in the seance and everything like that. So Thais is going to do it, you know, just to kind of prove to everyone that there's nothing really supernatural going on. So she goes upstairs, and then Shauna's worried about her. She said that she shouldn't be up there by herself, but no one wants to join up with her. So Shauna's the one that does it. And Shauna, you know, Thais is like, you know, what are you doing here? And Shauna's like, I thought you could use some company. And then she lays down. And then...
we like that. Because obviously we know Shauna and Thais to like keep in touch in the present.
I like this too, because you're seeing their bond like in the past. I don't know if they had a friendship really before, but this is the first time we've really seen them like bond at all, like in the past and everything like that. So...
yeah, and like I was saying, like Shauna, 90% of the time comes off as really like manipulative, or when she does something really shitty, she like doesn't feel any guilt about it. So I like this scene kind of showing like it's her going out of her way to like help someone else or like look out for someone else.
Yeah, that's good. So then, you know, So then, yeah, Taissa asks Shauna, like, how far along she is, and, Shauna doesn't really answer, kind of looks confused, and Taissa's like, you are pregnant, right? And Shauna's just like, yeah, don't tell it. Yeah, please don't tell anybody. You'll keep your secret. And Taissa says, yeah, I'll keep it a secret, but if we'll allow here if any longer, it's going to come out whether you like it or not. And then that's kind of how everything in, like, the past ends. I thought it was a good ending to, like, the past. I know there's a big rant you have about it, but I did like this. It's a big reveal because, this kind of, leaves a big question now, obviously, because we know how Shauna gets pregnant. So I remember in episode 1, you corrected me, like, well, Owen, that's not necessarily, because I mentioned, like, Shauna and Jeff having sex, like, right before they went on the trip. Ends up being like a big snowball effect. You're like, well, no, not necessarily, because they've been dating for a while and doing this offhand. But now you find out that actually was the case.
Yeah, they got, like, pregnant from that, yeah. And actually, there was a pretty good foreshadowing in it, because Shauna, like, made a joke of, like, you better, like, finish outside me or I'll, like, raise the kid to, like, get revenge on you.
Right.
And then obviously, he apparently didn't fucking take the advice.
But, I really liked this. I mean, there's a bigger issue. I'll let you kind of talk. There's a reason I liked it, but also didn't like it. But I also liked this, though, because, now it kind of leaves you questions like, is Jackie going to find out about it? And if she, and she will, but how is she going to find out about it? What's going to be, like, the backlash of it? And then obviously it makes you question, like, now that someone's pregnant, what's that going to be like? Because they're going to be out there 19 months. They've only been out there 1. You're pregnant for, like, typically 9 months, so that's going to be a good...
Yeah, that's more than enough time for her to go through a whole pregnancy. Yeah,
I will say though, I know we talked about this. I do think they should have ended the episode there, not because of like us finding out about it, but just because it leaves you that hook of like making you want to come back and ask all these other questions.
Like, oh yeah, what's gonna happen next time? Yeah. I thought you were saying it because it's like a twist, like, oh my god, Shauna's pregnant, and I was like, well, I mean, they made it pretty obvious earlier on. But yeah, not necessarily for the twist, just for like, yeah, what's going to happen next with this.
Also, too, because the way the episode ends, it was like pretty much the exact same way episode 4 ended. So, like, they should have mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah. So, I'm fine with them being out here for about a month. It makes sense. They were out there for like 18, 19 months total. And it's been like 5 episodes. They've been out here for like a month. Makes sense. Episode 2 was like their first like day. Episode 3, they did about out there for like a week. And then episode 4 was like, it's been like a couple days since they buried the guy. So obviously at this point, they've been out here for like a month.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which I'm fine with that. We're getting like a lot of like the day-to-day stuff. But it's like way too early to like confirm she's pregnant. Especially because like she pretty much confirms, or she's like sure she's pregnant, like 10 minutes into the episode. Yeah. Pretty much after Jackie makes that comment of like that joke that she's pregnant, she like goes to like touch her boobs and she's like, fuck, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, okay, whoa. That's like way too... Because Shauna even comes up with an excuse of like, with all the stress, like my period's probably just late, which is a real thing. If you're under a ton of stress, it can like fuck up your cycle. I don't know why the fuck I know that, but I do.
Mess you up, under a bunch of stress. Not just that, but sleep schedule, everything.
Yeah, so I was like, to be honest, this episode should have ended with Shauna being like unsure, and then like when Lottie makes that comment of like it's already inside you, she would have been like, oh fuck, like like a bit more like concerned, like maybe I am pregnant. I don't know. It's only been a month, and I'm like, that's way too early to confirm that you were like without a shadow of a doubt pregnant. Because like again, she could have just been fucked up from all the stress of the plane crash, and like maybe she's just like unsure. Like Jackie like making that joke could have been like, oh fuck, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Or well, like you mentioned off camera, I feel like it should have been brought up last episode. And then this episode be the kind of confirmation of like, oh shit, she is pregnant, like 100%.
Especially because Shauna didn't do shit last episode, so that would have fixed that issue.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's dealing with like maybe she's pregnant. Yeah. So basically, and like I get it, you can't do it too late because at 3 months, you're going to be calling obviously having a bump. Like, it's going to be pretty obvious if you're pregnant or not. But I feel like 2 months. Like, 2 months is like a good point where like you're showing signs, and like if you're still don't have your period at that point, that's kind of a red flag. That like red flag literally that you're pregnant.
I mean, if you have to do it this episode, they could have done something where like episode 2, because they found like the guy's like porn stash, like they could have said like, oh look, he's got pregnancy tests. You know,
yeah. If you had like pregnancy tests, I would have been completely fine with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I'm just like, there's not really a way out here to confirm if you are. And I feel like that would have been a really great plot point where she's like questioning and she doesn't have anything, any way to confirm or not, you know? Because yeah, like you said, she doesn't have any like pregnancy tests out here. So her like freaking out, like if she is pregnant or not, and she like can't tell anybody, like that would have been a really good plot point. And like you said, she didn't do jack shit last episode. So that would have been a really fun plot point. So yeah, I just wish they like extended this a bit more. Like, I wish they just waited to like confirm if she was pregnant.
Yeah. But like,
because I'm like, it's way too soon to like realistically tell.
But we know she is, obviously, because it's kind of obvious. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I'm glad they didn't do this will they won't they thing for like a long time. But just like it's still too early. Like I was saying with Natalie and Travis, they did a good job like not waiting too long, but not doing it too early. This is kind of what I meant, where they did it too early. Yeah. You know, if they extended this for another episode, it would have been good.
Again, that's kind of the issue too of having 10 episodes sometimes with both the past and the present plot. You know, you have to, you know, you gotta factor stuff in. So.
Yeah, I will say though, this episode did a really good job, like balancing the past and present. I think both were pretty interesting.
Definitely. I will say before we move on to the present, one good thing the past did too was they've let Travis and Natalie, for the most part, not do too much this episode, since they were the main focus of the past plot last episode. They kind of didn't have them do
I think we brought up before this show would be a bit better if they kind of like dedicate episodes to certain characters.
Yeah. Because
it felt a little too like spread out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, last episode did a good job, like giving Natalie. Is it? Natalie. Yeah, Natalie.
Right.
I said it right. Giving Natalie and Travis some shine. In this episode, they kind of take up more of a back seat. I liked that. That was kind of a good job pacing it out. So yeah, I'm happy they did that.
All right, let's get to the present. I've been talking for a while, so do you want to... I know originally that I'm supposed to be talking, but I've been talking for a while, so you want to just talk about your first thing you want to talk about plot-wise? So.
Yeah, I'll do Thais, because that's pretty short. Basically, Thais is still worried about her election, and then, her son's obviously still having, like, behavioral issues, and he's mentioning the lady in the tree. And obviously, as we know, Thaisa decided not to spread that her opponent has like a junkie daughter. Like take the moral high ground. But Thaisa sees like a wolf outside and she like starts freaking out. She like tells her wife like stay inside and like grabs a knife and runs outside. And at first I thought she was just like having PTSD again. Because we saw before like multiple times like she will like see the wolves like like at the party. And like when she was like doing hand puppets with her son.
I want to mention, by the way, that's the first time you've mentioned that pony, and you would, if you didn't even mention that, I would have completely forgotten the pony was last episode. They did not talk about that pony really that much at all this episode. Like honestly, if you think about it, it's so weird. Like last episode's like good, but like it's not brought up on really that much like at all. Like the last episode's like as if it didn't even, like happen.
Not super important. Yeah. But yeah, Thais runs outside. I thought she was just having like a fucking panic attack, like she was seeing nothing. But when she goes outside, she sees that in red paint on her like front door is spelled out like spill.
Yeah.
Like spill the truth, basically. And obviously, and I like this. Like Thaisa's wife is like super fucking pissed off. Like last episode, she was kind of telling Thaisa, like, take the moral high ground. don't like spread that about like, your opponent's daughter. But now she's like so pissed off. She's like, this guy is like having people come to our house and like do this shit. Like, no, you should absolutely spread that about the daughter.
I think that's pretty.
And I kind of like that. She's like the wife seems like a real person.
Yeah.
She's if she were still like being like, oh no, honey, it's not a big deal. Like I would have been like, okay, you're like too reasonable. Like you're too level headed. I like that her wife is actually like a character. Like she's getting pissed off about this too. Like it's obviously affecting her.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Thaisa has to be like the level headed one. Be like, oh honey, it's okay. We'll get the insurance people out here and they'll like fix it up, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I liked that because like it would have been weird if she like really didn't show like because there's always that character that's just like and then they'll finally want to do something about it when it's like too late type of thing. Like you should have like done this like a while ago. So.
And Thaisa's wife gives her like a pretty nice like speech later in the episode. So I'm just saying I like that. I like that Thaisa's wife. I don't remember her name, but she actually is like a character just beyond like being Thaisa's wife.
I agree.
So yeah, but Thaisa and her wife are already obviously really upset because they think like her opponent has like wrote spill on the front door, basically like spilling, like being like, hey, spill the truth about what happened when you were out in the woods. But then later on, Thaisa goes into her son's room and sees that red paint is stored under his bed. So obviously the implication is that like her son wrote that on their door.
Right.
And like I'm glad they confront him on it. They bring the red paint out and they have like a talk with him. They're like, all right, we found this in your room. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And
it would have been weird if they did it like the end of the episode and then we had to wait an episode. Like I think it made sense to do it here. Yeah,
I'm glad they did it this episode. Excuse me. And then Thaisa's son is basically like, I didn't do it. It was the lady in the tree. Which, I'm interested in because it seems like the son like knows a bit more than he like, because he mentioned like in a previous episode, like no matter what anyone says, like I know you're a good person. So it seems like whoever this lady in the tree is like actually speaking with her son, is like telling him things about that happened out during the 18 months.
Yeah, and like kind of like he's finding out like information about his mom, and he well, one of his moms anyways. And it's probably like obviously one, it's creepy that someone's speaking to him, obviously, but obviously like you're finding out stuff about your mom that you never found out before. Like it can kind of mess you up a little bit, type of thing. So
yeah, I am interested though because he says like I didn't do it. So, but like the paint was obviously under his bed. So whoever this lady is, she's obviously speaking with Thaisa's son and is like framing him, like putting the paint under his bed.
Right.
Which is also really creepy because it makes it seem like whoever did it like planted the paint there, knowing Thaisa would find it.
Yeah.
Like whoever this is like knew Thaisa would like look under his bed at some point and like find the paint, because obviously there's no point putting it there if like to frame him if like she never finds it.
Yeah.
And like that we got that one time in a previous episode where like that doll was like on her floor smashed and like the eyes were out.
Yeah, I remember that.
So like whoever's doing this like knows Thaisa really well.
Yeah, knows her very well.
Which is kind of why I was thinking like it might be Van. Like my theories are like Shauna's kid, Jackie, and Van are like my main theories.
The only reason I could see the only reason I say it's not Shauna's kid is that she hasn't really done anything to like Shauna. You would think Shauna would be like one of the people that she'd really be.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it'd be weird that it's like targeting Thaisa specifically.
Yeah, unless like Thaisa.
Same with Jackie. It seems like Jackie and Thaisa seem to be like at odds with each other.
Yeah.
But again, the show has done that. Like we last episode, like Shauna seemed really upset that Travis was dead, but like we haven't seen Shauna and Travis like interact at all yet in the past.
Yeah.
So I mean, I assume like a lot can happen in like a year and a half.
I just don't know, Well,
and Thaisa's the only one who knows Shauna's pregnant in the past right now. So
yeah,
who knows?
that would work.
A lot can happen.
I just don't know why she wouldn't, because she hasn't really messed with, Shauna's daughter hasn't messed with her too much. So I'm just wondering like why she wouldn't mess with Shauna. You think Shauna would be like a big one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shauna's the only one because obviously Travis got murdered.
Yeah,
and he's like tied to Natalie, and then obviously Thais is getting fucked with. Shauna's really the only one who like isn't involved with the plot in her own show. But yeah,
I mean, she got
that does make me
men.
wonder.
She got 2.5 men to go on, man. You know, that's a big money.
I know she's busy with 2.5 Men. I mean, I know that show was ended like years before the show came out, but she's very busy with 2.5 Men.
Well, she got to make sure Charlie Sheen is still in his well. You know.
Yeah. Got to keep him trapped and locked up. So obviously, like the son like flips out and he like turns around, and he smacks like the paint off the table and runs off. And Thais' wife kind of goes after him and like speaks to him because Thais was like getting really upset during this conversation.
I will say,
and then
by the way, when you see who the lady in the tree is, when you say like knows Taissa really well, all this stuff you're saying, you're gonna be like, okay, yep, I just foreshadowed who it could have been when you see who it is. So I'll just say that, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still thinking Jackie, Shauna's kid, Van. If it's like somehow like Taissa's wife, that'd be nuts.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, when you see who it is, what you just said, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's it. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's fucking her grandmother. Her grandmother came back from the dead to fuck with Taissa.
Yeah.
Or it's like that. Like we saw that one dude who like didn't have eyes. It's him. Not much of a lady in the tree, but you know, whatever.
Maybe he had a sex change.
Yeah, you never know. Listen, supernatural entities are people too. Exactly. You know what?
But anyhow, let's continue.
He might be trying to murder you all, but you should still you should still refer to him as his preferred pronouns.
It's like in Dragon Ball when I just talked about how it could be bad. That guy becomes like becomes a world leader, and we're like, oh, we don't know. He could have.
And we're like, hold on. What are his policies? You know, he might be a good world leader. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. You know, listen, fucking, I'm voting for Pilaf. Emperor Pilaf, 2025. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the lady in the tree because I'm thinking she's like also the one who murdered Travis. It seems like these are all related.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, obviously Taissa didn't believe her son. He ran off. Taissa's wife comes back a little later, and she's basically saying like it seems like she didn't really get any big info out of him. She just kind of like, I think his issues are coming from the fact that like you're so busy with your election, and like, you know, like you're just not really there anymore. Look, the way I'm wording it, it sounds like she's being a bitch, but like she words it like she's not like demonizing Taissa. She's not trying to make her feel guilty.
Yeah.
Because Taissa is even like, what? Do you think I should like throw the race? And she's just like, I just don't want you to have any regrets. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just don't want you to like regret anything. You know, like whatever you want to do, I'll support you. I like that. You know, again, I like Taissa's wife. She's a good character. And then Thais was like, okay, well, I'll make an announcement. You know, I'm dropping out. You know, I'm going to do this for my family. And I'm like, good job, Taissa. You know, like that's obviously a very hard pill to swallow, like throwing away your dream, but you're doing it for your son's good. You know, that's very good on you. You're a very moral person.
Especially too, because you have to admit defeat in a way because you're being blackmailed and you kind of have to run away from it and everything like that. So
exactly. So, but and then Taissa, you know what? This is kind of what I mean. The difference between her and Shauna, like she makes a really fucking shitty decision, but like it's clearly something that like obviously she's got like the PTSD, and like, you know, she obviously like feels bad about it. So I guess that's the difference between like why I like Taissa and why I don't like Shauna.
Right.
Like I get Taissa's reasoning more. I get behind it more.
I will ask too. At this point, to with her wife's talk and everything like that. Do you think she? Because I think so. I think she generally was gonna drop out until like the actual like.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, because we even see she has like a postcard with like her note, her like speech, and how she was gonna like resign.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she was literally gonna resign, like drop out of the race. And then she gets fucking PTSD again. You know, she like starts seeing the wolves and she starts like mentally freaking out. And then she basically like tells like all the reporters who have come there. She like shows them all the painting. And at this point, she it sucks too. If she like did this speech before she found out about her son, I would be like, okay, she jumped the gun, but she did legitimately think she was getting blackmailed by someone else. Like, I can't blame her. But yeah, this is really shitty because as far as she knows, her son was the one who did this. But then now she's like, my opponent has sent people out to my home and wrote this on my wall. It's like, okay, that's really shitty because, your son did this, or, your son did this, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But
I actually kind of liked this though because, they could have done the first plot that you just mentioned, but I think this makes it a lot better because, like, she actively knows now that, like, her son did.
Oh, I like it because it's makes again. I like when the characters are like flawed and make shitty decisions. I just want to like get the reasoning. I get why Thaisa is doing this.
Yeah,
and you can tell she kind of like has a face on at the end where she's like a little conflicted. She's like, all right, that was not the best decision, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
And you see Thaisa's wife's face too, where she's like, wow, fucking really? So much for doing this for your family, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously a very immoral decision to like pin this as your opponent sending people to your house to like, do this. I do like the speech she gave where she's like, so many people ask me about what happened out there. And I will tell you this, she just says, like, I'm not going to, like, I didn't, like, it's not fair. And, like, I didn't give up then. I'm not going to give up now. Like, that's kind of just, like, the general gist of what she said. Like, I do, like, she, like, took what happened out there and, like, people wanting to know more information and, like, spun it in a way to make herself seem, like, more positive.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's kind of it for her plotline. But yeah, I liked it. It didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't as long as Shauna or Natalie's plotline this episode, but like it did its job.
I will say this would have been as great as this was. This should have been the follow up to the not like episode 4 kind of like this should have been the episode 4 probably. Like this should have been the follow up to that. Like it would have. It still carried a lot of weight, but imagine how much more weight it would have carried. Like after the first stuff, because Sammy's not even in really like the episode 4, so like it would have been better if it was right after like everything we'd seen of Sammy, like the next episode type of thing. So
yeah.
But yeah, continuing. Overall, Thaisa's plotline was very good. This isn't the last we see of Thaisa, but it's the last we see of her where her plot's the thing that's carrying everything. But yeah, let's kind of go to Shauna's plot, that has nothing to do with anything. So, welcome to this week's episode of 2.5 Men, AJ. It's a different show now, so.
Yeah, Shauna's legitimately feels like a spin-off in her own show.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because, like, I say 2.5 Men, because that character was there. So, she's doing the same thing kind of there that she was doing in 2.5 Men. Like, honestly, like, Shauna's plotline just feels like a more serious version of 2.5 Men where she's the main character.
Kinda, yeah.
And it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't help, too, that it's the same actress. And, like, I mean, I've been kind of watching a lot of 2.5 Men clips on, like, Facebook shorts and stuff. It's like, is Shauna just a serious version of Rose? Because that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
like.
We don't know what happened in between 1996 and 2021. For all we know, the plot of 2.5 Men happened in that time. Now we're just picking right up.
I like to think so. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
It's like that theory that, like, at the end of Breaking Bad, Walt just, like, changed his name and became the dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so, it was all a dream, because they do that deleted scene.
Yeah, it was all Hal's dream, yeah. I like that.
But yeah, so, Shauna is, texting Adam. I did like that they showed this, because I think this is the scene, like, right after Like, they kind of started doing that stuff where, like, we were questioning whether or not Shauna was pregnant. So I always kind of like, you know, when it does cut back to the present, it's very well timed and everything like that. And, you know, Callie comes up and she's being really bratty. We find out that it's Halloween day. So I kind of like that, you know, kind of shows in the present where everything is that it's Halloween time. So wouldn't have known about it because not a lot of people had their Halloween stuff set up until this episode. Like, where the hell was it the last few episodes if it's been Halloween time? Like, I guess people really slacked off decorating for Halloween in the Yellowjackets universe. It's just like, oh, we'll do it the day of. So Callie just kind of tells, like, Shauna that she's going to use her account to book an Uber / Lyft / whatever to go into the city to go to a Halloween party. And Shauna just is kind of like, no, you're not doing that. You're not going to go into the city and go to a Halloween party. Like, I'm going to book club tonight. I need you to stay and pass out candy. But Callie's not really into that. But
okay, to be fair, I get I get not wanting her daughter to like be going into the city by herself. She's a teenage girl. I get that, but her reasoning is fucked up. It's like, okay, you're a teenage girl, but guess what? You can't go out with your friends on Halloween. I need to go fuck my boyfriend who I'm cheating on your dad with.
Yeah.
You got to stay home and pass out candy. Like, I get not wanting her to go into the city by herself, but like the other reason is really fucked up.
Yeah. I think that's also, too, why Callie gives Shauna so much shit. Like, Shauna doesn't really give her good reasons of why she can't do the things that she wants to do. Like, come up with an alternative thing. Like, you can't do that, but you can go out with your friends to do this instead. Like,
yeah. If Shauna was like, yeah, you can't go to the city, but if you guys want to just, like, hang around in the area, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck no, Shauna. You're telling a teenage girl, like, she can't go out with her friends on Halloween? Like, no, fuck you. And she has to stay at home and pass out candy while you go fuck your boyfriend? Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah. But then, you know, Callie gives her attitude, and Jeff comes up, and Jeff even says, like, you're being a bit harsh on her. And Shauna's just like, our daughter is an emotional brat. Which I actually kind of like that, because, like, Callie, because every parent has that kid where if they were bratty when they were younger, they get it from, like, one of the kids as, like, revenge. And I like to think that Callie's like that for Shauna. Like, she's the revenge for all the...
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Shauna, yeah, Callie is, like, an asshole. Like, She was, like, obviously being very disrespectful to her mom. Like, Shauna was like, no, you're not going into the city. And she was like, yeah, I am. Bye.
Yeah. And then, you know, Shauna tells Jeff, like, you know, am I the only one that thinks that actions should have consequences when, you know, again, Shauna's being very manipulative there because, like, you know, she's...
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, I get it. Like, she's probably upset that Jeff is, like, cheating on her.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, well, you're not much better, Shauna.
But, you know, Shauna tells Jeff that she has book club tonight. So Jeff kind of tries to make it like a date thing. Like, hey...
Yeah, I feel bad for Jeff here because he's legit, like you said. It's like he's like trying to make it a date, and he's like, "Oh, I'll come with you." You know, like I don't know, like what book are you reading? I can, you know, join in.
And I did,
like, you know, keep in mind, you know, like from Jeff's point of view, yeah, book night probably sounds lame, but like, you know, he's trying to spend time with his wife, and he's like willing to like deal with the other boring moms. But no, I feel bad for the guy here,
especially too because you know they'll go into relationship counseling, / marriage counseling. And, you know, that's probably one of the things that the marriage counselor probably said to do, like, go experience, like, your partner's interest. And he's actually trying to do that, and she's kind of blowing him off. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, again, as far as we know, he's cheating. Well, as far as, again, I still think they're going to do, like, a twist where he's not actually cheating and Shauna, like, jump the gun. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he is just a fucking asshole and he's cheating. But, as you know, I'm still thinking they're going to do a switcheroo. So, like, if that is the case, I'm going to feel extra bad for him here. He didn't cheat. She's cheating on him, and now he's, like, trying to get involved in her hobbies. And she's like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to go bang my boyfriend.
But, again, you know, I did say this off camera. This isn't the meme, obviously, but later on, Jeff's going to bring up book club again, and there's a funny book club meme that came out of, like, Yellowjackets and stuff that comes out from Jeff, so...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And I feel like, too, when you get to that episode, you're going to know, like, yep, this is the meme right here. Like, but anyhow, so then Shauna and Jeff go to this Halloween party, and they're getting all dressed up. Shauna's kind of not really sure how to feel about it. And then, you know, Jeff, you know, is like, come, no, not Jeff, Adam. If Jeff was there, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, very different episode.
But anyhow, Adam, like, you know, kind of gets into it. They kind of start dancing and stuff. And while they're dancing, Shauna again sees, like, Jackie. And,
well, it was also a little weird because Adam was trying to convince her. There's, like, another part of the club where it was, like, nude.
Right.
And it was like you wear masks. It was like there was like a nude part of the club where you just go in there and like dance naked. And Shauna was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that, but we'll like go in." I was like, "Thank God, that'd be a very weird." Imagine if she saw her daughter in there. I was like, "Please don't do that."
Yeah. Again, TV wise, you knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Well, I mean, this is on Netflix, and you never know. Listen, fucking, they put some weird shit on Netflix.
Not Kiss This. They didn't put that on Netflix.
Yeah, I know, right? Even Netflix has standards somehow. They'll make Netflix Death Note. They'll make Netflix Avatar. They'll make all this other horrible shit. But Kiss This, they're like, nah, fuck that.
I had to get
even Crunchyroll was like, nah, we'll have every other anime out there, but not Kiss This.
Even Shauna from the past and Natalie from the past would be like, nah, not having that. They'll be like,
no.
Honestly, I think if we told them Kiss This was a thing like in '96, they'd be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay out. I'm gonna stay out in the plane crash.
Yeah, it's like, okay, can we crash another plane and I'll die? Thank you.
If we told them like, you know, about Kiss This, they'd be like, yeah, I think we'll stay out here. You know.
Yeah. We're good.
But anyhow, so yeah, Shauna sees like a vision of Jackie, and this time I actually like the fact that even though it kind of was a vision, she kind of did see Jackie because, like, you know, she follows her and she puts her arm, like, over the vision, but we find out that this is actually real. It's Callie, who's got, like, you know, what we think at the time anyways is one of Shauna's old soccer uniforms. So I like that this vision was real. It would have been kind of a bit too much if, again, it was not real. So I actually like that this vision was real. So
I do like this where, like, Callie thinks she's wearing Shauna's old uniform.
Yeah. But we see that,
and then always found out later, no, she's wearing Jackie's.
Yeah. So Callie, is all messed up on ecstasy, and obviously Shauna's not happy about this. She's pretty much reaming out Callie and kind of, you know, saying, "I can't believe you did this." And of course, Adam comes up to her from behind and says, "Hey, what's going on here?" And Shauna basically,
yeah, I was like, "Adam, can you not read the room? Like, you know, this lady is like married and has a kid." And you, like, come up behind her, like, wrap your arm around her, like, "Hey, babe, how's it going?" It's like, Adam, are you fucking dumb, stupid, or dumb?
I know. So, yeah, Callie's kind of like, what the fuck? So, you know, because she just sees her mom's having an affair. And, you know, Adam's trying to be nice, though, like, saying, like, "Hey, do you want me to give you guys a ride?" I'm like, yeah. I mean, Adam's going to be an idiot there, too. Like, yeah, that's going to go over real well to give, like, your...
Yeah, I know, right? Here, I'll drive you home, and I'll say hey to your dad, you know, like, all great. It's like, yeah. Adam, are you fucking... Just get out of here, man. Even Shauna was like, all right, just go. You're done for the episode. Take your paycheck and leave.
Yeah. Honestly, that felt like what people behind the scenes were doing. Like, Matthew, he was probably like, "Damn it, we fucked this up. Okay, you're done the rest of the episode. Like, go
yeah.
off."
I like the way you say that. It's like they can only film each scene one time. Like fuck, we only have enough film. We only have enough film for this one scene. Damn it, Adam, the actor. What are you doing? All right, we have to work this into the plot now. Damn it.
So yeah, doing all of this, Shauna and Callie. I actually have like a general conversation. You know, Callie's kind of asking like who Adam is, and Callie, Shauna tells him who he is, and you know, because obviously Callie's because she knows her parents were having marital issues, but she didn't realize it was that bad. And she even asked,
yeah,
like,
I feel bad for Callie. She like legit says it like an actual teenager. She's like, "When did you like fall out of love with Dad?"
Yeah,
and Shauna's like, "It's complicated." It's, you know, honestly, I'm surprised Shauna didn't bring up the fact that like she saw Jeff with another woman.
Yeah. Maybe that would have been too much.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, from our point of view, it seems like Callie and Jeff's relationship is decent. So like, maybe she doesn't want to ruin their relationship.
Yeah, maybe she didn't want to like ruin her relationship with her dad. Yeah. But then with what she says later on, I'm a little like, yeah, you probably should have just fucking said that instead of all that shit you say later.
Yeah, but you know, Callie even asked Shauna if Adam knows anything about like the plane crash and like the wilderness and everything like that, because you could just Google that stuff like nowadays and everything like that. And Shauna doesn't really give much of an answer, but I mean, she obviously I think has to say yes.
Well, she says like, no, he doesn't know anything about me. And Callie's like, does he know your name and have access to the internet?
Yeah.
Which I thought that was interesting because I didn't, I didn't know Callie knew that much about the plane crash.
Yeah, same. So
but yeah, I guess Shauna is like really famous. Like it was a famous plane crash. Yeah, but to be fair to Adam, like I mean, he probably does know. But like to be fair, how often are you just Googling like your girlfriend's name?
Right. Good that he wasn't solving the Keela case.
Yeah, I know, right?
But actually.
It's just so random. I love like Adam. It just shows up in fucking Death Note. He's just like Google. I don't know. That's just so funny to me. Just so random.
I can just picture, I remember like that scene when Misty showed up, like kind of randomly out of nowhere somewhere, and Light had to be like, okay, let's go over here. I could just be like, I could picture Light being like, get out of here, dude, get out, go, go, go. Like he's like,
go, go, go. Yeah, I love that.
Honestly,
so
I think that's gonna be a meme now. Like, Adam's gonna show up now in places where he shouldn't show up, and you're gonna be like, yeah, get out, go, 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 go. Oh no, I think we just created a meme for Adam. Now we're gonna have the rest of the lives.
Yeah, whenever weird inconvenience, it's like Adam, quick, show up and do your thing. Show up in the show.
This was supposed to be like serious, but Adam.
It's like Elle and Light are having a face-off, and then Adam walks in the room. It's like, hey, Kira, how's it going?
Yeah.
And Light's like, Adam, get out of here. Don't call me that.
Well, anytime, like, Walt's trying to hide himself from, like, Hank or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, Heisenberg, what's up? I came for that blue meth you're always making. And Walt's like, Adam, get out of here.
Like, he shows up to, like, his house or, like, something like... Oh, no, he drives by him, like, while Walt and Hank are on, like, one of those stakeouts like they were doing in Season 4. Like, they just drive by each other. Like...
I love that, yeah. No, that's a thing from now on. Whenever there's, like, a big plot...
No, when Walt's trying
Adam's gonna come by.
When Walt's trying to kill Gus and, like, try to get the bomb, and, like, he only has one chance... But that scene where Walt goes out the window and that old lady's laying high to him. Adam would just yell out the window, yo, Walt, what's going on, my man? Like, and Walt has to...
And Gus is like, thank you, Adam, my top man. I want a Breaking Bad edit where instead of Mike, it's Adam working for Gus.
Oh my gosh, he'd be the best. Damn it! Yeah. Now I can't look at Adam the same ever again. Now too, like
Adam's gonna show up in every fucking show we review from now on.
Yes, he will.
Listen, we're gonna get to the Blue Spirit episode of Avatar. Zuko's busting Aang out of jail, and Adam's gonna be like, "Hey, Zuko, how you doing? I like the mask," and he's gonna be like, "Not now."
Or like, at that moment where Aang looks up and like all that smoke's supposed to be around him, he's like, "Oh, it's Zuko, Zhao, it's Zuko, yeah, my man."
Yeah, and Zhao's like, "Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you, my best man, my best firebender."
Yeah. Oh, this is great. Adams might be my new favorite character of Yellowjackets.
Oh yeah, no. Well, again, whenever we do like our rankings for our best characters, we're putting Adam right up there.
Did Adam just go into like Kita's dad type of tier now? Like he just went to that type of tier where we just like.
I know, he fucking Chad going across the multiverse of shows, fucking interrupting big plot points.
I don't think he's gonna interrupt Kiss this though. I don't know if he does.
Nah. Adam and Kita's dad are like best friends. Adam is the guy who got Kita's dad that computer.
Yes, he is. He's
like, Kita's dad, I'm not coming into your show. And he's like, awesome.
He has a laptop for you, And
yeah, that'll be my cameo for this.
Yeah. But anyhow, back to
the actual fucking episode.
But yeah, so we were supposed to be like having a serious moment because this is like the first like big serious moment that Callie and Shauna have with each other. And Adam just like,
and we're just like, look at Adam coming in at the worst moments. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam shows up in 1996.
He has to be as himself, like the way he is now too.
Yeah, like modern day Adam, like he's still the same age. He's like, hey Shauna, are you still pregnant? And oh hi Jackie, how you doing? And Shauna's like, Adam, I don't even know you yet.
That'd be awesome. I feel like Family Guy did a joke like that, like doing the cutaways or something. Adam just shows up in all the cutaways in Family Guy.
You think that's bad? You should remember the time Adam showed up and told Lois I was cheating on her.
I feel like this should just
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, Adam, you're honestly. Let's just.
It's funny too because you have a friend named Adam. You know,
yeah, my cousin,
mother-in-law.
Yeah,
yeah, like yeah, his cousin. Yeah. So whenever you see him, just fucking be like, "Hey, Adam, gonna spoil any shows for us?"
I think he spoiled something big in wrestling one time too, so that's pretty funny.
That's great. Okay, you fucking shit on him like that forever now.
Yeah. But anyhow, so yeah, Shauna and Callie are having a serious conversation because Adam can't be in the rest of the episode because he fucked up.
Yeah.
And then let's see. So yeah, we got to the most because I was about all that Adam stuff happened right at the most serious time too. We were gonna talk about. So
Adam was in this episode for fucking like a minute, and he's fucking stole the show.
I think we were like an hour and a half. Like we were like an hour and 35 minutes into the review. We just spent. I mean, it's at an hour 44 minutes now. Like we spent almost like
10 minutes just fucking talk about the Chad Adam.
What a guy. Honestly,
what a
this
guy.
might up my grade for the whole episode now because of Adam.
This episode's an A tier for Adam. A for Adam.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam. And Adam, we trust.
But anyhow, so like,
earlier in this episode, sorry, last thing with Adam, and then I'll fucking shut up. Earlier when Bible Girl was like, the power of Christ compels you, she just like throws the book of Adam at her, and she's like, oh my god, I'm back. Adam expelled the demon.
Adam's the demon.
Adam is the demon. You're right. I love that.
Hey,
theory.
you know what though? I remember you said what a coincidence it was that Adam showed up at that hotel. Now you understand. Now it makes sense.
Yes, Adam is the lady in the tree. I love it. Adam is the lady in the tree. I'm all for it.
He just shows up doing the plane crash, but does nothing to help them. Like he's just like
Yeah. He's just there.
Yeah. Remember that?
Just chilling.
Like, do you remember that scene in Family Guy where like Joe, Peter and Quagmire went through like this drastic plane crash, and the guy came up and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like been there the whole time. He knew the plane crash. Like, "Oh, I just didn't want to interrupt your plane crash." That's Adam. He's just that guy.
Exactly. I love that. Again, we don't know how many people are in the plane crash, so Adam's just there in the background. We never notice him.
He just Adam just takes one of them aside. Yeah, hey, they didn't really keep account, so we're just gonna hang out. And I'll just bring you back to these people when needed.
Yeah, and again, Adam is the same age. He's been the same age since 1996. I love it.
Maybe there was some Dragon Balls that came in there. That's why he's the same age all this time. He wished to not.
Yeah, he wished for eternal youth. He did it.
All right, so yeah. So Callie, Shauna reveals to Callie that the soccer uniform that she's wearing isn't Shauna's. It's Adam's. No, just kidding. It's
I love imagining Adam in the fucking cheerleading outfit.
But no, it's Jackie's.
Or not cheerleading, whatever.
I mean, again,
soccer.
Could be Adam's. You don't know. Like,
yeah.
You don't. Maybe it was his first. You know.
Have you ever seen Jackie and Adam in the same scene? I don't think so.
Yes, we have the Vision. They were in the same scene.
Exactly. It's a conspiracy. It was Adam the whole time.
I guarantee you Adam totally saw her, too. He just didn't tell Shauna that. He just let Shauna think she was just going crazy. He totally saw her.
Yeah,
totally
I know, right?
Did. But anyhow, so, so Callie starts, like, breaking down crying. Well, she really wasn't breaking down crying. I'm just in a goofy mood right now. I'm just, so...
Yeah, but you're right. This was a legit, like, good, heartfelt moment between them.
And we ruined it.
And, even though Callie's been like an asshole this whole show so far, I like that. Like as soon as Shauna says, like, "Hey, that's Jackie's outfit," Callie was immediately like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just found it in your closet. I thought it was yours."
Yeah, I like that she's on heartbreak. Like she even tells her mom, like, you keep saying that you're fine, but you're not fine. Like clearly something's wrong with you. Like you haven't gotten over something. And I do like that they're having a genuine, like, heartfelt discussion.
And I like that Callie knows about Jackie, but she's like, you and Dad never like talk about her. Like. That's gonna be really rough for Callie. Like she's never met Jackie, presumably, but like she just like she can tell Jackie is like always present in her parents' marriage.
So is Adam.
So is Adam. You're right.
But anyhow, I had
to be fair, Adam is present in everyone's lives.
I had to make that joke because you set me up for it, so
Yeah.
I couldn't not. But no,
Yeah,
but
there's a little bit of Adam in all of us, especially Shauna.
well, no, it was at one point. So
Yeah,
and then he never left. You know, he just stayed
and
there.
then never left, right? Just stayed there.
I like how we don't even say what it is, but everyone knows what it is. Like it's like, yeah, he stayed.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, but this actually is sad though, because like obviously Jeff and Shauna don't talk about like Jackie, obviously, because I really can't say why actually, because I know more than you, but like because that's they got together.
Presumably it's like it's kind of just like okay, so they hadn't talked about her at all before this episode in the present day.
Yeah,
and then Shauna here says that like Jackie's parents gave her Jackie's uniform on what would have been her 40th birthday. The way she says like would have been her birthday, makes it seem like Jackie's dead.
This is like the first time they've really like.
We don't know the context though.
Yeah, this is the first time they've like addressed anything about Jackie like in the present, like you said.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I really like this scene though. It was like the first heartfelt talk that Shauna and Callie had back and forth with each other. And then, the next day, it's all done away with. Callie comes up. She's obviously hungover / coming out of the effects of ecstasy. And Callie immediately is about to blackmail Shauna.
I was really so I thought that was gonna, they were gonna go that route right away. Like she was gonna blackmail her that night. And then when Callie was legit like empathizing, like crying for her mom, I was like, oh wow, that's kind of nice. We're seeing Callie's like. Actually, like she cares about her mom, and then the next day, like you said, as soon as she's like not on drugs, she's a bitch again.
I figured she would have waited, until she was a little bit more like, not because she's like sick and like hungover. I would wait. I think she'd wait till.
That is really fucked up though. That she's like she has this like heartfelt conversation with her mom, and then next day she's like, "So I'm gonna blackmail you."
Yeah. If Adam did it, though, I'd be totally okay with that. I'd be like, yeah, Adam, you can do whatever you want, man.
I'm okay with whatever Adam does. Adam could fucking punch me in the face, and I'd be like, thank you, Adam.
Adam could do it. Honestly, it's not going to hurt his character. It's not going to help his character. He can just do whatever he wants. So
yeah, Adam is already perfect.
But no, Callie is, pretty much says, that I don't have a curfew anymore, and if you see like any charges to your Uber/Lyft account, it's gonna be no questions asked. And
to be perfectly honest, pretty reasonable demands considering she's like, I caught you cheating. If I was gonna blackmail someone, I'd have some steeper demands.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that too serious. But Shauna even did say like, so you're gonna blackmail me and basically threaten to spill the beans on my affair, thinking it's gonna hurt me, but yeah, you're gonna probably feel just as much of it, if not worse, than me, because the $1,200 that's in your college fund, and that's pretty pathetic. Gone. They have to spend that on divorce lawyers. She mentioned, that she's gonna have to spend her weekends going back and forth between her mom and her dad's. And Adam, can't forget him. He's gotta go to him.
Yeah, Adam, of course. I love the idea, like they're in custody court, and they're like, all right, Shauna, you get your daughter on Saturday, Jeff gets her on Sunday, and Adam gets her the other 5 days of the week.
Yeah, Adam deserves his,
Yeah.
Adam's
a father to all of us.
I love it.
Adam and Eve, Owen.
So then she also mentioned, that you're going to be staying at your father's crappy apartment. But don't forget Adam, Adam's probably at a good house, he could stay there.
Yeah, Jeff will start dating Adam. Because it's funny, Shauna's like, your dad's going to start asking you for dating advice, and he's going to start dating girls that are your age. And he just starts dating Adam.
That'd be awesome. Adam's cheating now. He's cheating Shauna and Jeff. Like,
yeah, Adam's making the rounds. He's gonna sleep with everyone in the show.
Love it. Even you know what? That was too. I almost just went really bad. I'm like,
yeah, okay, maybe don't make that comment.
Yeah.
I know. I already know what you're gonna say. There's a show called Ruby. It's made by the same people who made Red versus Blue, and there's a character who his team. He was on a 4-person team. and he got it was like 2 girls and like one of the girls' brother, and he got the 2 girls on his team pregnant. And people have been making a lot of jokes that like he wants to get with the entire team. Like whenever him and his brother-in-law are in a scene together, he's just like, I'm gonna get with the entire team, Crow, entire team. And I don't know. I love that idea for Adam. He's like, Shauna, Jeff's not safe. I'm gonna get with all of you.
Yeah. Even Thaisa's not safe. He's gonna get Thaisa too. He has his ways. So
yeah. Who do you think Sammy's father is?
Yeah, but no, yeah, doesn't make sense. But it's Adam, you know. So
there you go. Adam transcends being gay. Adam is Adam.
No, he doesn't. He transcends logic. If you don't think it makes sense, it's Adam. But anyhow,
exactly.
Pretty much the point I'm trying to make here is Sean is pretty much making it clear, like, yeah, you can spill the beans on me, but you're gonna hurt just the same, or if not more, than me. So at this point, she calls in Jeff. And I actually almost said Adam. I don't know if you caught that.
Well, it's fun. I was gonna make that joke where like Jeff kind of like comes into the scene at a really awkward time, just like Adam did earlier.
Yeah.
Like Adam just fucking walks in like, "Hey guys."
But yeah. So and you know, Shauna says Callie has something she wants to tell you, and you know, I like that they kind of took a pause. You're wondering what's gonna happen, and Callie pretty much confesses that she was stuck into the city, but she kind of fibs, saying that I was on drugs and I had to like I started freaking out. I had to call Mom to pick me up, and Jeff kind of starts to like, you know, give her like, you know, discipline her a little bit, and Callie walks away. Obviously, what Jeff thought was she walked away because she didn't want to hear it, but Callie walked away obviously because she like suffered that defeat. She had to make herself look worse just to kind of protect Shauna's secret type of thing. Yeah,
she just like storms off, and Jeff is like, "Wow, she's having a real attitude lately." And fucking Shauna, she just makes a face like, you know, girls will be girls, you know, like that's our daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, you suck.
I did like this scene though, because I like the.
I like the scene. I'm just saying, like, kind of continuing the idea that Shauna's a real fucked up person.
But first time going back watching this show, I always felt bad a little bit for Shauna that her daughter always kept one-upping her. So I like the fact that, you know, Shauna got to kind of one-up Callie here in a way. But
I think I pointed out to you, I'm like, yeah, she had a one-up on her teenage daughter. And, like, Shauna's still, like, I mean, obviously Callie's fucked up for wanting to blackmail her. But, like, Shauna, you still are cheating. You're still, like, not in the right here.
But I did like, too, that, like, they went a different direction, you know. Because, you know, we talked about this. They were going to go that typical thing where they were going to run each other at the party. And then, you know, at the party, you're like, okay, now Callie's going to blackmail Shauna. I like that that did happen, but they flipped it and had, like, Shauna basically blackmail
later. Yeah, they had, like, a heartfelt conversation first. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then, you know, they had Shauna like, basically call bluff or blackmail and everything like that type of thing. Because, again, Shauna could have been if anything, Shauna could have been bluffing, by the way, with everything that, like, she just said. So,
yeah, that's the thing. I feel like she was just really good at bluffing there. Like, I think she did a good job. Especially when she was the one who called Jeff over and, like, Callie gave her a look like, oh, fuck, like, you're being serious?
Yeah.
Like, I think like, Shauna just did a really good job kind of, like, bullshitting, basically.
But
this was definitely present day Shauna's like best episode. Like every episode so far, Shauna has had like the least interesting plot. But this was a good one. I really enjoyed this episode with Shauna.
But let's not get this twisted though, and then because we have to move on this plot, but then I'll completely move on. Adam helped Shauna kind of do this. Right? He's his coach, and it was all Adam. It wasn't Shauna. It was all Adam.
Fucking Adam with the death note, like controlling her actions.
Doesn't need the death note. It's Adam. You know, he doesn't.
Exactly. Adam can write out any piece of paper and it acts like a death note. He's that good.
I still love the fact that Adam was only in this episode for maybe 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes.
The entire thing. We fucking talked about him for like half of this damn review.
I know. We have one more plot point to talk about. This video was going to go like the typical Yellowjackets like length, but Adam just is so great that like...
Adam was like, nah, we're going to extend that shit. Fucking Adam, man. Fucking Adam. But yeah, then we get Natalie and Misty's plot continuing where it left off. They're investigating Travis's death. Misty's not really there because obviously, Natalie told her to fuck off last episode. Natalie gets the info. Well, like she gets what's his name? The guy.
They probably said it, but I forgot. By the way, I know we're trying to get off of this, but I just can't. Every time he said Misty, I heard Adam for some reason. I heard Adam.
Why?
I don't know.
Those two names have nothing in common.
I think because we were just talking about it, and I zoned out for a second. I was just thinking about, I had Adam on my... But it wasn't like I heard...
I'm gonna call this guy Adam. Whoever, I don't know. I don't remember his name. His name is Adam.
But I don't know why.
So Natalia was talking to Adam.
I heard Natalie though. But anytime you went to say Misty's name, Adam, I just heard Adam. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It's Adam. It's Adam, man. It's like
I got Adam on my mind.
But anyhow, continue.
Yeah. So yeah, Natalie was calling not Adam, and he was like, "Hey, so I looked at Travis's death report, and he wasn't on drugs." And Natalie was like, "Okay, thanks." And not Adam was like, "Hey, so you want to get together again sometime?"
Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you. I'm calling him not Adam now.
Okay.
Not Adam was like, "Hey, you want to get dinner sometime?" And Natalie was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great, but I got like a thing with not you. Bye." And by the way, I felt really bad for Kevin. Does he ever show up again?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because I was legit like, oh, is that like it for him? Like Natalie just like fucking manipulates him and then ghosts him. That would be really shitty. Well, that seems to be the intention. Is Natalie basically just like got the police files from him and then like that's it.
I remember they find their way back to each other, but I forget how actually. Because I remember I think Adam did it. I think Adam.
It was Adam all along. Adam had the script.
But he did.
For years we've been wondering how Nier kept reading the script. Now we know. Adam gave it to him.
No, that doesn't make it okay.
No, you're right. Nier still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Nier
stole it from Adam.
Yeah, he stole it from Adam. Adam was a nice guy. He fucking was holding on to the script, and Nier broke into his house and stole it. Fucking justice for Adam.
He read all the scripts too for every show, just in case.
Every show, exactly. And yeah, but he still couldn't catch the nuke hero.
Do you ever notice you tried doing that joke, but it's a Neo joke? Anything Neo related, we're just like, nah, not happening.
Nah, not worth it. Nier can fucking go suck a dick. Not worth it. Nier wishes he could suck Adam's dick. Anyway, so Kevin was like, yeah, Natalie hung up on Kevin, and now she's like, okay, cool. So it wasn't an OD, and now I know for a fact Kevin has like the autopsy report for Travis. So I'm gonna get in contact with Misty, and Misty's gonna help me get into Travis's email and get his files, which I thought was smart. It's like, oh shit, yeah. So you get Travis's files on someone you know for a fact has them, and now take it from him. That's actually really smart.
I thought that made like more sense of why they didn't follow up. Like, it showed why they weren't following up. Why we thought that we weren't following up very well with Travis's stuff. Now this episode kind of fixed that issue. Like, okay, they were doing that. We just saw that Natalie was just doing something else. Like she had a bigger plan there, type of thing.
Yeah. And I feel so bad for Kevin, because like he kind of got a hint that Natalie was just like talking to him, like to get info on Travis, and then like she kisses Kevin.
Yeah. And
then like later on, she's like wiping her lips. Like, damn, like no, you're just. I feel bad, because we even got a flashback with them, like showing they were like friends for a really long time before the plane crashed.
I think before even like Travis and everything like that too. So it's like.
Oh yeah, way before Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Kevin.
I did like when Natalie called Misty. Her like name and Natalie's contact is "don't answer" or whatever. Don't pick up. It's like.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I like how Misty is like when she shows up, she's like expecting an apology for Natalie like blowing her off, and then Natalie's like not giving a shit. And Misty's like, okay, well, I understand your grieving, so I'll let bygones be bygones.
I mean, I don't really think Natalie even had anything to apologize for, so, Yeah.
No, she didn't. But I'm saying I think it's funny Misty, like, is expecting an apology, and when she doesn't get it, she's like, "Okay, well, you're grieving, so I'll just forgive you."
Yeah.
So yeah, Misty contacts a guy who can like hack into the email. And then they have like I guess a bit of like a fallout where Misty didn't tell this guy that like the email he was hacking into was like a police email.
Which is kind of important.
Yeah, it's like that's if you're gonna be breaking law by stealing shit from a cop, that's a really fucking bad idea.
Unless you're Adam.
Unless you're Adam. Yeah, Adam can get away with it. Kevin would be like, Adam, please take all my reports. I want you to have them, Adam. Thank you.
You did miss a big thing. I thought that showed how fucked up Misty was. It's not even a big thing. I just want to make sure we mention it. They were doing like a trick-or-treater thing at like the nursing home or whatever she was working at. And like the children come in and she like shuts off like the woman's like oxygen tank or whatever or like life support. For like
and she like tells the kid like, "Oh my god, she's gonna die! Go and help!" And the kids like obviously run out and like freak out.
But that's fucked.
You know,
that's fucked.
Yeah. Well, we saw in episode 1, Misty was like abusing the people in the elderly home. That seems to just be a thing. Misty's just fucked in the head. And she likes treating people like toys.
Yeah, it just fucked the fact. I feel like this one was more fucked to like me, just because like because who knows how often she's been doing this too. She could have been doing this for like...
Yeah, that's the thing. She just has like no real reason to do it. She just did it just to be a bitch.
Yeah.
Like she just thinks it's funny, so she's like, I'm gonna just fuck with traumatize these kids and almost kill this
lady. I can't
lady.
believe she hasn't been caught yet, you know? Like...
I'm amazed. Yeah, no, you figure she would have been fucking arrested fucking after a week. Yeah. But,
maybe Adam helped her out, though.
Misty... Yeah, Adam and Misty are close friends. Again, Adam's buddies with everyone in the show. Misty and Natalie are gonna meet this guy at a restaurant, and we see beforehand Natalie like putting a bunch of like gasoline in like a cup, which was like, okay, what's she gonna do with that? And then we see like Misty like sit down right next to this guy, and you think like, oh, Misty's being creepy and she's like trying to flirt with this guy. But now they actually kind of twist this a bit. Where Natalie like, okay, so Misty like accidentally spills like all the gasoline on the guy, and then Natalie like takes out like a match and threatens to fucking light this guy on fire.
Yeah.
It's crazy too because this guy was like, I want to be involved in the plot. I want to be like Adam. You know, I want to like I want in on whatever you're doing. And they're like, nah, fuck you. And then threaten to light him on fire. He's like, okay, you know what? Never mind. You bitches are crazy. I'll give you the info and I'm out of here. Did we ever see this guy again?
No.
So he legit was like, hey, listen, I want in on this plot. I want to be a main character. And they're like, nah, fuck you. We're going to light you on fire. He's like, you know what? One-off character it is. Goodbye.
I'll take my money. I got bills to pay, you know. This is going to be replayed for months and months. My face will be seen. He gets... Imagine this role got him other acting roles that, like, much bigger than theirs and everything like that. So, like, you know.
It's like, you know what? All right, fine. I feel like legit, this guy would be me in a show. I'm gonna be like, all right, I want in on all this great plot stuff. And then one crazy bullshit thing happens. And you know what? Like, all right, I'm taking off. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
I did like this, you know, they had to hide the drink because they were going into, like, a restaurant. So they had to hide. I say the drink like it was a drink, but like the gasoline, but like because they had it in like a drink in like a cup. Because you can't typically bring outside drinks to a restaurant. So.
Sorry to bring up another show you're not familiar with, but like this, it just reminded me of this. So there's a character in Yu Yu Hakusho. There's like 4 main characters, and one of them kind of like leaves during the final season because he wants to like focus on like school, and he's like, you know, he like can't get involved with all like the crazy shit in the plot. And his voice actor said like he really loves voicing that character, and like he thought it was such like a strangely human thing to do. Like he was like, I love how the character I'm voicing just saw this crazy shit happening, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna leave. Goodbye. So I'm just saying like I that's a similar thing where I love how this guy was just like, nope, all right, you know, I'm done. I don't want to be a character in the show anymore. Goodbye.
So this guy's gonna be a meme one now, like, you know. So
yeah. Whenever a character like shows up in a show and just to like leave again forever, we're gonna bring up this guy.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he went to Belize with the business guy from Death Note.
I like to think too he stopped hacking into people's emails after this. He's just like, yeah, I don't want.
Yeah, he's just like, you know what, I'm okay. I'm just gonna settle down. I'm gonna get married, have a nice job, and just live my life.
Yeah, it's awesome. Him and Adam, man. Adam wants to get involved in stuff, and I like to think they're best friends, polar opposites. He doesn't want to get involved with anything. And Adam,
this guy goes out for drinks with Adam. He's like, dude, you will not believe what just happened. I got threatened to light me on fire. Adam's like, damn, man, what a day.
I just revealed to
him and Adam go to like that nude section of the club.
This guy might be my new Yellowjackets favorite character now. Like, he's awesome. Like,
yeah, he's great.
So relatable.
More than Adam? Wow, that's a surprise.
No, top two.
Adam. Of course. Yeah, I mean, I should have assumed. But yeah. I like this because obviously we knew Misty's a fucking nut job. And like Misty, well, I mean, I guess Natalie was too because she like pulled a gun on Misty like episode 2. But like, still, just seeing Natalie be this fucking crazy is kind of, like, wow.
Kind of showed how desperate she was to kind of find out about Travis's death. That's the whole reason she did this too. So
yeah, exactly. Shows how desperate she is.
We didn't really get into
you mentioned earlier. Huh?
We didn't really get into like the reason why she was doing this because we were so focused on the other guy's reaction to it. So kind of missed the big character.
Yeah, well, I brought up that like basically So this guy has Travis's autopsy report because he stole it from Kevin, but he like wants to blackmail them.
Yeah,
like Shauna blackmailed her daughter. And then now he was like, no, fuck you. I'm going to imagine Shauna did that instead of talking her daughter with a blackmail. She like poured gasoline on her daughter and threatened to light her on fire.
They reversed the plots. Like they had
yeah.
They had Natalie.
I would love that. But yeah, they got this guy to give them the autopsy report on Travis. And, I feel really bad for Natalie because we get a shot of like her point of view, like her lying in bed with Travis. And like, you see him like present day and he's like very handsome, very, nice, like good looking guy. And then it hard cuts to like the autopsy pictures where he's got like fucking like cuts on his chest and he's like all bloody and beaten.
Yeah. It's
like, damn.
And you feel like even more bad because they were showing all that stuff you just mentioned alongside like the relationship like in 1996, so it makes you feel even more.
By the way, what they were saying the cops thought it was a suicide. Who the fuck looks at that picture and is like, "Yep, he clearly killed himself." It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like that Epstein thing. It's like that Epstein thing where it's like, oh yeah, he killed himself in jail. He just fucking stabbed himself like 17 times. Yep, he killed himself.
Yeah, I don't really get that. Yeah. But yeah, it looks...
So the cops in this universe are fucking dumb.
Except Kevin, he's cool.
Except Kevin's cool. You're right. Imagine these guys trying to find Kira. Light wouldn't have to do jack shit.
No. Well, actually, Light would have an easier... Maybe Light... What's Light? Because we have the two Lights.
Oh, right. Post-time, skipping pre-time.
No,
honestly, post-time...
I was talking about Netflix Light or like regular
Oh,
Light.
right. Honestly, yeah, Netflix Light could get away with being Kira in this universe with this cops. That's how bad it is.
I don't know. He admitted it though, like to like a few people like before.
True. Netflix Light is really shitty at his job. Yeah, you know what? These guys could probably gonna find that Light. That's a good point.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah. So, So I feel really bad for Natalie here and poor Travis. He obviously. That death looked fucking painful, man. Hopefully he died quickly, Just
yeah.
But then Misty and Natalie noticed like because they're like putting all the pictures together. By the way, I've taken forensics classes, and this is a real thing where you're supposed to like take the pictures where they like overlap. So it's like easy to like put them together and like get a whole picture of the scene.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
Well, I also liked about I think they did this too. What I liked about this too is they had Natalie and Misty look at the same time because Natalie really wasn't, I think Natalie was kind of looking at it more like an emotional, like Misty, I think felt bad what happened to Travis, but like Misty's not as emotionally attached to the situation as Natalie is, so she was probably able to find stuff that...
Well, Misty's a fucking psycho, so she's, she doesn't seem attached to anybody.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if Natalie looked at this by herself, she probably wouldn't have seen the stuff that like Misty saw. So
Right. Although that does make me suspicious of Misty, where it's like maybe she's like intentionally pointing Natalie in this direction.
right.
You never know. I still think Misty's a red herring. Although, we do see some stuff a little later on where it's like, So, but they end up like connecting up. They notice like markings on the ground around Travis, and it's the symbol that we've seen like earlier, like out in the woods. And Natalie says that like, okay, there's no way Travis made these markings because he never believed in any of that stuff.
And also, too,
and I'm not there yet, but you have said that like doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Also, the way the candles were set up, like during Travis's like death, was the same way the seance was set up, like in the past. So that was also something that they pointed out too. So
yeah.
Yeah, this really doesn't make sense that Natalie says this, because there's going to be moments in the past where it's clearly obvious Travis kind of believes this stuff. I was even thinking about this the past couple of days. Like maybe Natalie just didn't know about it or something like that. But like Natalie's like with him during this time Travis is going through this stuff. So it's like, yeah, this line's been a huge continuity error. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll get to that when I get to it. That's what's interesting about this. You've seen it and I haven't, kind of thing.
Yeah. So when you see it like in the flashback, it will make more sense because Travis like participates in this stuff in the flashback, like all the supernatural stuff, and Natalie sees him.
Travis starts like fucking throwing out fireballs and magic and shit. And he's like, "Nah, I don't believe in it."
Yeah, but it's like, why would Natalie like? I don't get. I feel like this was definitely something that like they put here, and then they were like, okay, and then they like forgot about it or something like that. But it's just so like weird. I will. Yeah.
Well, it also makes me curious because again, like, nothing too supernatural has happened in the past. Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe nothing supernatural has happened in the past. Like you can't even be sure. So like when Natalie makes comments like that, it makes me like, okay, well, whatever happens like in future episodes has to be like ambiguous. Or if like something really supernatural happens, like Travis can't be there for whatever reason.
Right.
But then, like you're saying, it's a plot hole apparently. So I'm like, okay.
Like you said, he participated in the seance. Why would he participate in the seance if he doesn't believe in it? Like, is he just doing this because he's
right? But again, we don't know. Because you mentioned like Lottie's like schizophrenic, so like maybe they find that out later. Like, I don't know. So I'm interested in it as a first time viewer. I don't know, because like from what we've seen so far, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can buy Travis not believing in anything supernatural. But like if something crazy supernatural happens later, like there's not a shadow of a doubt, then I'm gonna be like, okay, Travis, at what point does anything need to happen for you to believe in that shit?
Right. But again, my point is like there's clearly moments where like it's clear that even if it's ambiguous, like he believes that actually happened. But like Natalie's saying like, yeah, Travis didn't believe in any of this shit, like, And again, it'd be one thing if Natalie just didn't know, but like Natalie was there doing some of the stuff where she saw Travis like. It's like saying someone's not religious when you've clearly seen them do stuff like go to church or like pray or something like that. Like, what the hell is that? Like,
yeah, it's like okay. Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure our grandmother does that. It's funny. Your dad's girlfriend was like, "Oh yeah, Mona isn't religious." I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean? She goes to church every Sunday." I'm just like, "Yeah, she doesn't."
I'm still not buying it. Huh? I still don't buy that. So.
Yeah, I'm like, no, she's definitely religious. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really weird if she does. Yeah, I don't know why. It's funny that I brought that up. Because yeah. But later on, well, I think it's important to mention when Natalie like brings like a gift, quote unquote, to Natalie. You mean Misty brings a gift to Natalie.
Yeah.
And like it's a little owl statue or whatever. Honestly, I'm surprised Natalie kept it. I'm surprised she didn't just chuck it in the trash.
I would.
Because this ends up being important later in the episode because Natalie calls Thaisa. And this is interesting because we saw Natalie like call Thaisa when they were in jail, and apparently Thaisa has been like funding Natalie to go to like AA and like rehab and stuff. But Thaisa previously like kind of cut off Natalie and being like, "I'm not helping you anymore. Goodbye." But she showed up here when Natalie called her here, so that's interesting.
I don't really know why, too. They didn't really give a reason. She just did.
Yeah, because as far as that, okay, I didn't know if they were going to explain that later. Okay, yeah, then that's kind of weird because as far as we saw last time they talked, Thaisa seemed like she was kind of like done with Natalie.
I mean, she did do this like low profile though, so I guess that's okay. I guess.
Yeah, I guess she's calling here for like something like related to like the Woods stuff.
Yeah. So
like maybe if she called her about like drugs or whatever, she'd be like, "No, fuck you." But because she's calling about like Travis, that's why.
Yeah.
And then Thaisa calls Shauna. She's like, "Hey, we should call Shauna about this." And then we get a POV of Misty. She's spying on Natalie through. Excuse me. The owl statue she got for Natalie is like a camera.
You missed a big thing. The reason they call Shauna is they get it. I think they both get like anonymous text from like the person blackmailing them, like asking for like money, type of thing. That's why they call.
Oh, right.
I forget how much money it was, but that was kind of what. That's why they end up calling Shauna. It's because they notice the symbol and then they get like a text saying like, "Hey, give me this amount of money, and I won't blackmail you," or something like that. And then that's what ends up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I thought it was they were calling her about like the Travis thing because something that we hear them mention in the background when we get Misty's POV is they mention Travis and Shauna like says like, "Oh, Misty already called me about that. Like I already know."
Yeah.
And Natalie's like insults Misty like that bitch. You know, I didn't know she texted you. And then we get Misty being like offended. She's like, "Oh, she insulted me," and it's like, Misty, you're spying on her.
Yeah, that's how the actual episode ended. Again, kind of a good ending. Kind of makes you wonder what's going on with Misty. But again, I think.
But like you said, it's kind of a repeat of last episode where it's like people are calling Shauna and be like, "Hey, Shauna, there's like a plot happening. You should probably get involved."
And not as much of a hook to watch the next episode as. Not even finding out, but them saying...
Well, that ended up being good for me, because I had to fucking wait like a week and a half to review this.
Yeah, so that worked out for you. So...
Yeah. But I'll definitely be watching episode 6 next, for sure.
Yeah, we'll try not to go too long this time around.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. We covered everything. Good old Adam. I'm giving this episode an A-. A for Adam.
I'm going to go... well, let me think. So let's see, because I said I was going to up it a letter grade for Adam. Originally, it was an A-. It's an awesome episode. Really, this episode sets up a lot of the plots that we're going to see later on in Season 1. The Shauna plot, even though they kind of rushed that a little bit, but I still thought relatively good. The Misty Ben stuff, the Seance
it was good. They just rushed it a little bit. The Seance stuff was interesting. Yeah. Kind of like our first real hint at like supernatural stuff.
Confirmation about relationships. They did a good thing with Shauna this episode, present day, like kind of getting her plot furthered. And I liked the follow-up of Travis's death, and the Thaisa storyline was interesting. I thought they balanced both the past and present plots really well. So it starts at an A-.
Yeah, this was like the first episode where there really wasn't like a weak link in storylines. Pretty much every episode I've had like one plot line where I'm like, they could have cut this. But this episode, all the plot lines were great. I liked them all. They were all pretty solid.
And again, I'm going to go A because Adam was awesome. You know, Adam.
A for Adam, yeah. I'm giving it an A-. Again, the pregnancy thing kind of bugs me a little bit. I feel like they should have...
but Adam made it okay.
Gave another episode for that. And the seance thing, I would legit not have known Lottie ran out of her medicine or the medicine was for schizophrenia unless you said something. And that's kind of really important for the seance thing, so they really should have made that more clear.
I think maybe that's a big critique we should talk about with this show. I feel like they don't like tell you stuff that should be important to tell you. Right,
because I did not know what the medicine was for. They didn't make that clear at all. I thought it was like for a physical thing. You know, like, oh shit, if you put that in medicine, it's gonna have issues with like blood pressure or like heart or liver. No, it's for fucking schizophrenia. I'm like, oh, okay, that's way different than I thought it was.
And that's definitely something that like you have to tell someone they have schizophrenia. Like you don't just know someone has schizophrenia if you don't know the symptoms and everything like that too. So
Right, exactly. Well, it's funny. I literally have taken criminal justice where we have gone over like multiple like very big like mental issues, and I like schizophrenia being one of them, and I had no.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching this video. We're definitely gonna try to kick some ass. I know we haven't been doing as well just because AJ's had a couple storms recently, and I've been doing some family things. So I know. Well, I know we're still gonna do some videos. We're gonna try to finish season 1. We're completely taking a break from everything else because we're very behind on Yellowjackets. So we're gonna try to get some episodes done.
Season 1, and then I'm looking forward to and both those out.
You're cut out there, but I'll just say it. I think what you could just give me a thumbs up. What you said is like we're just gonna do the rest of the season 1 of Yellowjackets, then do season 8 of RVB, and then like go back and forth between Yellowjackets season 2 and RVB season 9 and 8, 10. So
yeah.
All right, but that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Well, we'll talk to you guys later. I make it sound like it's just me, but AJ's also here also, so it's like
I am also present. You're right.
Yeah.